Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. And over the weekend, it's Monday already, can you believe? And December 8th. And this weekend is just an incredibly busy, politically news-oriented weekend of news, which is so unusual because in December, news really doesn't happen, especially in Washington, which pretty much shuts down during December because of holidays and everything. Not with President Trump in office. It's every day of massive news. I've got a lot to cover. We're going to cover in detail today the $8 billion in theft in Minnesota from the Somalis and Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz and all of that. There's a lot of breaking things that have happened in the last couple of days with that. I'm going to cover it extensively on the program. We've got a lot to talk about with that. It's the biggest financial scandal in the history of the United States by far, okay? By far. And what it's really going to do is, and we're already seeing this mentioned, Minnesota is now where all the Somalis are. They're all over the country, and including in parts of Ohio. And there's been reporting out of the state of Ohio of Somali fraud in Ohio. You know, anywhere Democrats are in charge, there's thievery going on. In fact, you know, a good case could be made, and there's a question to ask. Is the Democrat Party a political organization or a criminal organization? Which do you think? You know, if we have 100%, the whole pie of 100%, what percentage of the Democrat Party is a political organization, and what percentage is a criminal organization? I think the whole thing's a criminal operation, and the Democrat Party, the entire party should be brought up on RICO charges. That's just the way it is. I mean, they are just a criminal operation. There's nothing about the Democrats that is legit, and it's a major financial crime syndicate is what it is. So we're going to get into a lot of that. Your calls are welcome. If you're watching live, the number is pinned in the live chat. If you're on hold, hang in there. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. The radio show will begin in a little more than 30 minutes. This is the pre-show, which, of course, is brought to you by Mike Lindell of MyPillow. So let Mike Lindell know that his support of my program in the early pre-show is money well spent. Go to MyPillow.com and use my promo code Kane at checkout. Huge savings for Christmas. And, you know, Mike Lindell is running against Tim Walz for governor. Picked a great year to run for governor because Mike Lindell, the MyPillow guy, very well may be the governor. Look at these Christmas specials, huge savings. I'll talk more about those as the show goes on. Okay, now I'm going to start with a couple of things, one of which I can't play on the radio because of language. So I'm going to play that, but it's going to be the second clip I play. The first one is of Tucker Carlson. Laura Loomer and others have done a lot of reporting that Tucker Carlson is taking money from Qatar. I don't know if that's true or not. I do know this, that Laura Loomer's reporting has a 100% accuracy rate. Anything that Laura Loomer reports, you can take it as the gospel. It is the absolute truth. She is never wrong. So just based on that, you know. But Tucker was speaking to a group in Qatar, and he just dropped something that is just so strange. He's talking to the Prime Minister of Qatar, and this is courtesy of Laura Loomer. She's got her name on the video here, the great Laura Loomer. Listen to what Tucker Carlson tells the Prime Minister of Qatar. And I'm curious to know your thoughts on this.
Whenever we are needed to help and to support within that process. But I believe it is solvable. It can be achieved. It's not.
That's not Tucker. That's
impossible.
the Prime Minister of Qatar.
So last question. I've been personally, not to make it about me, but I have been criticized as being a tool of Qatar. And I just want to say what you already know, which is I've never taken anything from your country and don't plan to. I am, however, tomorrow buying a place in Qatar, both because I am.
Please pay a high check.
He's buying a home in Qatar. Tucker.
anything from your country and don't plan to. I am, however, tomorrow buying a place in Qatar, both because I am
pay a high check
in
not
Doha,
a cheap one.
yeah, and I'm doing that because I like the city. I think it's beautiful, but also to make the statement that I'm an American and a free man, and I'll be wherever I want to be, which I think is important. But that does
Now, you know, I don't know of anyone who's bought a house in Qatar, and Qatar is not a cheap place to live, right? They're very affluent over there. What are your thoughts on that? Is that strange? I think it's very strange.
kind of leave us in a place where I have not taken any money from Qatar. I have instead given money to Qatar. And
Okay, now I only know what Laura Loomer's reporting. She says he does. So that's kind of a vague way to say it, right? To say I've not taken money from Qatar, that means the government. That doesn't mean that you haven't taken money from an entity connected to Qatar, or you understand what I mean, like a company, something, an individual. That implies you haven't taken money from the government. It doesn't mean you haven't taken any money in any way, shape, or form connected to Qatar. I find that to be a very vague answer, don't you? And it is weird to buy a home in Qatar.
I wonder if you feel that that means I've bought you and you will now spew my propaganda.
Well, thank you. Just ask me whatever you want me to do for you, I will do it. But look, Tucker.
Look, Tucker. That's the prime minister with the accent. This is crazy because the question is, are you taking your family to Qatar? What are the rules for women in Qatar?
Look, Tucker, unfortunately, as I told you, that there are a lot of players putting a lot of efforts to sabotage the relationship between Qatar and the United States and to try to demonize anyone who will come to this country. Our efforts, when we are lobbying or doing, our outreach in the United States, is to make sure that this relationship is safeguarded. And the relationship for us is mutually beneficial. We are not getting aid from United States. Instead, we are buying from United States. We are partnering with them. We are investing in the United States investing in Qatar. And this relationship has been always a two-way relationship. And we pay all these amounts for lobbying only to protect and to safeguard this relationship. If we were not being attacked and under a lot of disinformation campaign that's been unfortunately funded by other players who doesn't want to see a U.S.-Qatar relationship flourish, we would spend this money for better things, to do with the relationship.
Sheikh Mohammed, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it.
Sheikh Mohammed. There we go. Tucker Carlson with Sheikh Mohammed talking about buying a home in Qatar. Very strange. The next clip I play, I can't play on the radio, so I'll play this in a few minutes, and it's on another issue. Qatar, I've been told by people that are in the know that Qatar, more so than Iran, is backing the terrorism and the wars against Israel. I agree with President Trump's Mideast policy. We've had over half a century of failed peace in the Middle East and negotiations, and President Trump is going about bringing stability to the Middle East, which is always a problem because of the oil over there. He's going about it in a different way and making friendships and alliances and everything else, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. But with Tucker, because Laura Loomer's been reporting for quite some time that he's taking money from Qatar. He says he's not while he's in Qatar talking to Sheikh Mohammed. Wasn't he in Cannonball Run? Oh, no, that was Jamie Farr. He says he's not taking money from Qatar. Doesn't mean he's not taking money from an interest connected to Qatar or somebody that has an interest in Qatar. But and if he does or he doesn't, it's America. He's not doing anything illegal that I know of. But he's been saying things and taking positions that are out of character with him in the last year, hasn't he? Yeah, it seems to me. But he's buying a house in Qatar. What American news person would you be comfortable with buying a home in Qatar? If Rosie O'Donnell or Joy Reid or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow, one of these, if they bought a home in a Muslim country, Qatar or any other Muslim country, it would set off fire alarms. And it should. I find that very bizarre. Now, I will tell you this. Under no circumstances will I ever travel to a Muslim country. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. I wouldn't feel safe going to an Islamic country as an American. That's just me. But it's one thing to visit. It's a whole other thing to buy a home in Qatar. Why would he be doing that? Why? What would be the purpose of the home? Is he going to go there with his family? Does he plan on spending enough time there that he needs a residence? Does he think that Qatar is where the future is so far as him and his organization and what he plans on doing? That is just very strange to me. If you're on hold, stand by. Now, this clip here, this is a construction company owner in Louisiana. This is something I can't play on the radio because of the language, but I wanted to get it out there on the program today. You know, there's deportations going on all over the country, including Louisiana, and he's talking about the effect on the construction industry, his construction company in particular, with the ICE raids going on. Pretty amazing story. Listen.
So we've had ICE and DHS down in Louisiana for about a week now. And as a business owner, I've been running my own construction company since I was 18 years old. I'm 27 now. We do painting, roofing, drywall, tile, ceramics, trim, molding, carpentry, flooring, concrete, a little bit of everything. I'm seeing firsthand just the shockwave them boys are sending across the state. Mm-hmm. No immigrants want to go to work. None of them want to even ride in a truck like mine with a ladder rack on it. And it is so amazing. I've gotten more calls in the last week than I've gotten in the last 3 months. I got 20 calls in one day. GCs scrambling to try and finish projects. Halfway through, these guys not showing up to work. Starting projects. Landlords, you know how a landlord always has, their go-to guy they call. Boys ain't showing up to do nothing. And this just shows you how bad the problem is down here in Louisiana. I mean, we got a population in our whole state that's like the size of LA County. Mm-hmm. Genuinely, in our whole state. And they have filled this place like no other. And I've got to see through the presidencies. We had our little heyday with Trump's first go-round, 99 cents a gallon gas. Wow. Even with the immigrants here, shit was still amazing. They weren't pushing like they are right now. Joe Biden got into office, he really fucked my industry bad.
Can't play this on the radio.
Bad.
So.
To the point to where the only people that are lining their pockets are the GCs that are hiring these guys. Because it's the only way. I mean, shit, you send in a proposal, my last name is a Flores. Let me start there before people start calling me racist. I'm just speaking the truth. You send a proposal in and you have one that's like half the price of that. 90% of the time, they're going to go with that cheap one. And that's how it's been down here in Louisiana. It's just everybody competing to get the bottom dollar. I'm talking roofing. They want to pay $60 and $80 a square for tear off and reinstallation. And I'm like, fuck that. These people still trying to call around to try and find that at that price. You're never going to find that shit. I think $150 a square for a walkable tear off and reinstallation is cheap. Cheap! $2 a square for non-walkable is cheap. Without materials. Y'all are crazy. And I'm so happy. Things are about to get better. GC's gonna have to start paying up. Everything's about to get realistic. These people are like, oh, we got them on all these positions. We got all these immigrants working in assisted facilities. Them motherfuckers make bank. You don't think they can pay an American to work? They don't want to. What about the farming industry? It's the same shit. It's billion-dollar companies. The fruit industry. People are like, we're not going to have orange juice. Bullshit. Pay up. Y'all can't pay $20 an hour? It's ridiculous. And I'm just so happy. All these people protesting with signs about them being here, let them talk about going to leave. I'm going to be down there with the biggest sign you ever seen, and I know I'll have people with me saying, ICE, please don't go. I'm going to be singing to them. I don't care. I'm going to have my microphone, a big old speaker. I'm going to serenade them to stay. Because seriously, we need this. I need this. I got 3 kids, and I know I speak for so many people who are in that same line of business that I'm in, and it's just gotten tore apart by these people that don't even want to be here. They don't want to stay here. They want to build their 5-6 bedroom ranch house back home, send money to take care of their wife's family and their family, while they're able to still take care of themselves over here. Yeah. Where can we go to make 100 to 50 to 100x a day? Most of these cats I talk to, what they would make back home was $5 a day in like a Red Bull, $5 a day in a Monster Energy. The foreman's making $10 a day. Where can we go to make 50 to 100x a day and send shit back where we live to build a 5-6 bedroom house? Most of you motherfuckers got a big ass piece of land. It's not fair. And anybody who thinks to say it's fair and they deserve to be here, you cannot be an American. You cannot have that blood going through your veins, for real. You hate your country. I am so thankful for ICE and DHS. I'm glazing them. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So now you can see why I can't play that on the radio today. This guy is right on the money. And, here's the thing. The way the left have always portrayed the illegals is they say they're taking jobs that Americans don't want to do, right? Lawn mowing and cleaning houses and such, which is nonsense. They take high-skilled jobs away from Americans because a lot of the people that are here illegally have skills, carpentry skills, or whatever skills, right? A lot of them have skills. And by the way, all these jobs that you think Americans don't want, Americans do want them. Maybe you don't want them. Maybe you don't even want a job. But what the Democrats want is they want their low-cost nannies and lawn guys and everything. What the Democrats want is the same thing they wanted in 1860. They want to keep their low-cost labor, slave labor in place. But the reality of the situation is that there's been a major impact, a negative impact on the economy from the illegals. What is the positive that the illegals have given to this country? Whether it's the stealing of the $8 billion in Minnesota, taking jobs away from Americans. This is a guy whose business was not doing that well because there's so many illegals in Louisiana. They're taking the business away from him and others. And what President Trump is doing is bringing the economy back for Americans. The Democrats have started a fake crisis, which I'm going to talk about. But first, I want to take a break. Of course, as I've been telling you, this early pre-show is sponsored by Mike Lindell at MyPillow, and he has incredible specials going on right now for Christmas. Look at this, the 6-piece premium towel set. I just spilled some coffee before the live stream here on my desk, and I wouldn't grab my towel I showered with, my MyPillow towel, and it's like it absorbs everything. My desk is dry. 50% off the MyPillow towel set. The My Slippers, just $39.98. The Giza Dream Sheets, save over 50% on those. I have all these products. The Premium MyPillow, save over 50%. The MyPillow Mattress Toppers, I have the mattress toppers too. They are spectacular. As low as $149.97. Huge savings. You can use my promo code site-wide at mypillow.com. And there's a money-back guarantee through March 1st of next year. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, and also, you may be buying these great MyPillow products from the next governor of Minnesota if things go well. Now, make sure you use my promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, so you can take advantage of these huge Christmas specials and incredible deals. You can use my promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout on all the specials at MyPillow.com, not just the ones I talk about. Also, Mike Lindell is sponsoring this early pre-show and the extension I've been doing to the program the last few months. So I need to have a good performing month from you guys out there in the month of December, because in January is when I'm going to get the word as to whether or not it's going to be permanent throughout next year. And that would be wonderful. I love doing this early pre-show, and that would make it possible. So go to MyPillow.com and use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for all of these great specials. We'll be right back. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you they're making it through the year. They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow, the 5-pack, for just $29.98. Get the My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25. And a blowout sale on the standard MyPillows for just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879 and use the promo code KANE to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now just $14.98. Queens, $18.99. Kings, only $1 more. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but MyPillow has just announced they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, or call 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE for huge savings on your Christmas shopping. Are you looking for a gift that lasts a lifetime? One that's personal, powerful, and proudly American-made? At Back 40 Metalworks on Etsy, that's Works, W-O-R-X, they turn ideas into steel. Since 2010, Back 40 Metalworks has been crafting over 200 unique metal art designs, from wildlife and rustic decor to modern wall pieces and custom creations. With more than 30 years of experience working with metal, they know how to shape your vision into something extraordinary. Need a personalized welcome sign for your home? A company logo? A one-of-a-kind Christmas gift? Something for mom or dad on their day? Or any other day of the year? Every piece at Back 40 Metalworks is built to last, indoors or out, and every design tells a story, your story, in steel. Visit the shop online right now. Back40metalworks.etsy.com. That's W-O-R-X. And view the inventory. You will be impressed. Back40metalworks.etsy.com. They turn ideas into steel. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Brian Craig Show. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. This is where MAGA comes to talk. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Michael. I'm calling from the road. I'm a truck driver.
Oh, hey, Michael. What's up?
Hey, I wanted to call in. I just happened upon your stream for the first time.
Welcome.
And I heard what you were talking about the illegals taking skilled jobs.
Oh.
And I am in one of those jobs that has been truly negatively affected by the illegals.
Mm-hmm. That's right, truck driving.
Thanks to President Trump, especially with the accidents lately that have killed people, and him enforcing the law of the English language proficiency for truck drivers, he is trying to bring truck drivers back to what they should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, it's caused the pay to go down for you guys, hasn't it? The low-cost illegal truck drivers?
Oh, definitely. I mean, they'll take the loads because they know they'll take the loads at a lot lower money because they send the money back to their home countries, which is worth a lot more there, and it destroys the American economy. Not helps it.
And they don't pay.
Claim.
And they don't pay taxes, right? Because they're illegals. They don't
exactly.
have. A nephew of mine is actually going to school to become a truck driver. Now, this just came up in the last month or so, and when this first happened, this enforcement with the illegal truck drivers. I was talking, I used to see ads all the time for truck driving schools. I haven't seen one in years because there hasn't been the demand for truck drivers because the illegals have been taking the jobs.
Well, and then you look at the accident like recently down in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
The accident in Ontario, California.
Yep.
I know there's been others, but I know a lot of states are still trying to fight this, even though it's been the law since the CDL came out that English language was required
Yep.
to be able to get your CDL. But you got guys out here that can't speak the language, don't try to. I don't know how many times.
Well, and another thing too is they don't have. It's not just the language. They don't have the skills, the training, or the experience to drive these big rigs, and that's why you're having these deadly accidents.
Well, like the guy down in Florida, he couldn't even answer 2 out of the 8 questions that they asked to test the proficiency and be able to identify our road signs and stuff.
Yeah.
And 3, I believe it was 3 people that died in Florida, 2 people that died in Florida because of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Not to mention the accident in Ontario, California, and others.
On the Florida Turnpike, not too far from where I'm at. Accidents with professional truck drivers, long haul is really rare. I mean, there's obviously accidents, but they're rare. And it's because you guys have the skills and experience to drive those big rigs and handle them. When there's bad weather or you have to make it. The one in Florida, he was making a U-turn on the Florida Turnpike, which is against the law. And that's you wouldn't have made that U-turn. I know where he made it. There was no visibility, and that's why he got all those people killed. It's really scary.
There's no interstate that you can legally make a U-turn on the way he did.
No.
Every one of them you're going to see a sign that says authorized vehicles only or no U-turn.
Yeah.
And I want to praise states like Oklahoma, who are really pushing the English language, and Arkansas, who are really pushing the English language inspections for getting these people off the road.
Well, I imagine most of them. Most of them are probably happening. I'm sure some are happening with traffic stops with state troopers, but a lot of them are probably happening at the way stations, right? If you don't stop at those way stations, will the troopers come after you?
Depending, like me, I have a pre-pass system.
Yeah.
Which will tell me whether I can bypass it or not.
Yeah.
And I haven't personally had an English language inspection, but I have a friend who's went through that area and has had 3 of them.
Really? Wow.
He's had 3 different ones, and he has seen where the tow trucks have been sitting there waiting to take trucks out. But I mean, another thing about it. For example, a guy that was arrested in Oklahoma for he was an illegal, had a New York CDL, and under the name had no name given.
Oh my goodness! How is that even possible?
Believe me, I'd like to know the answer to that myself. Yeah. And out of 2 of the deadliest crashes, they both had California CDLs.
Yeah, and out of California, they found out a woman at the DMV was taking the test for some of these people too to get their CDLs.
And they also closed down 3,000. I think I've heard last estimate I heard was like 3,000 schools.
Yeah, that's right.
That were illegally passing drivers.
That's crazy. It's crazy, but it's a good thing. Truck driving is a great American blue collar profession. You can make I don't know if you can these days, but you used to be able to make a good living as truck drivers. And
I've been doing it off and on. I've been doing it off and on since 1992.
That's a long time.
I got away from it for a while, but I came back to it. It's in my blood. My mother was a truck driver for years. My ex-stepfather was a truck driver for years. They both passed away.
Do you do long haul? How far do you drive?
I run 48 states.
Oh my goodness! Really? Wow. There's always been.
Matter of fact, right now I'm in Ohio, heading to Illinois, and I'll be heading to Pennsylvania after that.
What are you hauling?
I haul reefer, refrigerated. Right now I've got food stuff in here.
So your friend who's had this language test done 3 times, was that done by being pulled over by the police, or were those in way stations? Do you know?
Those were in way stations during inspections.
That's awesome. That's a good thing. And I've
been reading stories where they've actually been going into truck stops and and doing it. And I think what I would be glad to see is them doing it in every state the way they should be, because it is part of the law. But thanks to Democrats, our state troopers had to ignore that part of the law because they wouldn't let them enforce it.
But if you've, what I would like to see them do is confiscate the truck and its contents for companies that are knowingly hiring illegal drivers. That would really crack down on it.
I know a lot of them, what they're doing when they do put a driver out of service, they're impounding the truck, which of course is going to charge the company. They're impounding the truck until the company can send a English-speaking driver to pick it up.
Wow, and the load too.
Until these companies face true penalties, they're going to keep doing it. Unfortunately, it's been like that. It's been like that for years.
Yeah, but there's got to be
penalties are a slap on the wrist compared to the profit they make.
I don't know if they're impounding. Like, you have a refrigerated truck, right? So if there was an illegal driving your truck and it got impounded with the load, first off, there's somebody expecting that, right? I mean, it's got to cause problems for a lot of these companies if they can't deliver on time.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it seems like they're doing the best they can. Maybe we need a federal driver's license for long-haul drivers that cross state lines.
Technically, the CDL kind of is, but they gave too much. They gave too much authority to the states on the CDL.
Yeah.
There needs to be one standardized database for all of it, and that way it's controlled at the top where it should be.
Yep.
Instead of it's just like, for example, gun laws. There's too much patchwork between states.
Well, whenever you renew any type of driver's license, you should have to produce. It should say whether you're a U.S. citizen or not. There should be that kind of information should be on it, because many years ago in the 80s and 90s, the Democrats fought very hard to give driver's licenses to illegals, and they were successful. And look what's happened. A driver's license, you can register to vote, you can get a job. It's been destructive giving them driver's licenses.
Personally, I think to get any driver's license, you need to be able to show a proficiency in English.
Yeah. Because
that's what our road signs are in. And that's part of what makes so many accidents out here, I believe, is because they can't read the warning signs.
When I go to other countries, I don't drive. I don't rent cars or anything because I don't know the rules. I don't know the signs. They're different. Signs are different in different countries. They don't know what to. And here in Florida, we got a large immigrant population, and you can tell who the illegals are. They have driver's licenses, and they don't know the rules of the road. They're doing all kinds of crazy things. They're very dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Believe me, I was just down in Florida last week. I know exactly.
Yeah, you can tell. I mean, yeah, it's great. Especially when I go down to Miami, which I'll be going down, I think, next week. Well, listen, keep on trucking, and thanks for the call. I'm glad you found the program. Make sure you subscribe.
I definitely will. Thank you.
All right, take care. What a good guy. Long-haul driver. I'm going to take a quick break, and then when we get back, there's a lot more to cover. We'll be back right after this. On the line, we have one of our listeners, Jeff. He heard me talking with George Colony recently, our real estate guy here on the program, about how he can turn renters into property owners. And he gave George Colony a call, and they met. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, Brian, thank you so much.
Yeah, so tell me what prompted you to call George Colony, and then tell me how the meeting went.
I've been looking forever for a property to buy, and I've had all kinds of issues come up, and I really needed someone who had that professional experience to help me overcome all the different issues that are likely when you're trying to buy a house. And so I went to meet him, and I was totally impressed with his brain power and his ability to solve problems. He gave me lots of good ideas to help get me through into a house and become an owner. Real estate can be a hardy headache for sellers. It's really a complicated process, and you really need someone who's an expert and a problem solver. So if you're selling your house, you need to know the agent that you can trust and that he has the brain power to figure out the problems that typically arise in every settlement. And I met George Colony myself. I personally interviewed him. He's really good at helping buyers and sellers. He's going to help me buy a house. So I'm really excited to highly recommend him for all the listeners of the show. He gave me 2 great projects to get myself into a house and become an owner as opposed to just a renter.
That's absolutely amazing, Jeff. And, you know, George Colony can turn you who are renters into owners. And you know what? He can do it with you paying less every month than you're paying in rent. Give George Colony a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, so you can call or text just like Jeff did, 954-801-7320. That's 954-801-7320. All right, we're back. All right, I just got a text from Mike the board op. He's running almost half an hour late to the radio station. So the pre-show, the first half hour is not going to be on the radio. It's going to be just here, guys. So the pre-show is going to be extended. If you're new, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And I host a morning radio show that's on a bunch of FM radio stations. And when I'm on the radio, I live stream here on YouTube. I wanted to talk about something I mentioned on one of my weekend podcasts. And this is a real important point to be made. You know, with the arrest of the J6 pipe bomber by Bongino and Kash Patel, they've really been redeemed a lot in my mind. Have they in your guys' mind been redeemed? I would say absolutely. You know, one of the things President Trump has run on in all of his campaigns is draining the swamp. And he's had incredible success with it. I mean, you know, we have MAGA governors around the country. We're going to have more MAGA governors after this election. He took over the Republican Party and defeated the establishment. And we have all these MAGA members of both houses of Congress. We even have MAGA Supreme Court judges. We have MAGA federal judges. And the swamp draining, he's done a lot of it. However, there's one area of draining the swamp that is incredibly difficult, okay? The bureaucracy, those who work for the federal government, that's one. The second one I'll tell you about in a second because it's more important than even that. DOJ and the government shutdown we just had have gone a long way to getting rid of these federal workers that cause so much trouble, right? But what's happened is the bureaucracy, in particular at the FBI and other agencies like that, have been slowing down Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, but they overcame it with the J6 bombers being arrested. But the main problem we have in the swamp right now is, you know, we had a big problem in Congress with the swamp in the first term, and you know, and we've done a great job there. We still have a lot more to do. But we've done, you know, President Trump's done a great job of draining the swamp in Congress. But the one part that's most difficult, and he's made great inroads in doing it, is with the federal judges. And a lot of people get listen, I've been impatient with Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and Pam Bondi too. The J6 pipe bomber, I think Kash and Bongino redeemed themselves with that. I talked about it a lot on Friday, talked about it over the weekend, but the federal judges are a big problem. These are people with lifetime appointments. I haven't heard any judges that were appointed by presidents pre-Clinton come up. I don't know if there still are any. Are there any HW? I'm talking about not the Supreme Court, because like Clarence Thomas was appointed by Bush 1. But I cannot imagine there's any Reagan or Carter judges around. I never hear about them. I hear from GW judges, Clinton judges. These, you know, federal judges have lifetime appointments. And in the instance of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you remember her, she was incoherent, basically in hospice care, but she was still on the bench. And they've been using these federal judges to stop the Trump agenda and even stop the lawfare, right? We had very good indictments against Comey and Letitia James that were thrown out. Him lying to Congress, Letitia with the mortgage fraud. And then there was another grand jury, liberal hack, corrupt grand jury in Virginia who wouldn't indict her on a mortgage fraud case, which is almost an impossible thing to do, right? Remember what they say, you can indict a ham sandwich in a grand jury. And we had this, I think it was a Clinton federal judge that tossed out the indictments of Comey and Letitia. And no matter what we do, okay, no matter what we do, we are going to have these hack federal judges stop at every route. Federal judges are so important. There's a piece of audio I'm scrolling through that I want to play for you guys that relates to this. So not only do we need Trump to have a third term, we need to have MAGA presidents for the next 20 years, because these presidents, they get to appoint the federal judges, and the part of the swamp that's most difficult is the federal judges, because they have those lifetime appointments. So we need President Trump with a third term. We need 2 with JD. We need 3, 4, maybe even 5, but we need at least 3 or 4 more MAGA presidential terms to drain the swamp with the federal judges, because a lot of them are really old. The Clinton judges are getting really old now. And we need more appointed by good MAGA people, because they're using these federal, President Trump has drained the swamp so much in the other areas. The one area, because of the lifetime appointments, he hasn't been able to is the federal judges. So now they're using the federal judges to stop President Trump. But so we can't blame the president or Pam Bondi or Cash or Bongino for the lawfare, and because they're getting these federal judges to do their dirty work. And it's god awful. But eventually that'll be drained too as we get more federal judges appointed. Now I want to talk about Senator Kelly, who's out there committing sedition. He's pretty nervous about it. I saw him over the weekend. I might play this clip later, but it is he's wearing a bomber jacket with more patches on it than Tom Cruise in Top Gun. And he's wearing his Navy hat and everything else. He's wearing his medals and decorations and as much as he can. He's very nervous. And we're talking about him being recalled to the military and tried. Well, there's some problems with that. If you remember, I don't know, a month or 2 ago, Pete Hegseth called all the admirals and generals worldwide to Washington for a meeting, and he really reprimanded them. The generals and admirals, they're very liberal, very woke, DEI, many of them overweight, all kinds of weirdness going on there. And they've done a purge. They've gotten a lot of new promotions in, but most of those DEI, overweight, liberal, trans generals and admirals in all the branches are still there. Kelly if he were recalled, he's a captain. If he were to face a court-martial, his judge and jury would be at least his rank, and his judge and jury would be captains and admirals. You may not get a conviction with captains and admirals from the woke naval captain level and admiral ranks. Maybe, I don't know if they have Marines as well there, but you get to those ranks in the service today, very political, you may not get a conviction. But Laura Loomer, she's a Pentagon correspondent now, and she interviewed this guy. He's a naval military expert, and Loomer interviewed him about recalling Kelly. And I want to share this with you because this guy, he brings up a lot of points that you got to consider. Listen to this. This is some interesting analysis.
This morning, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was here for an off-the-record briefing, so obviously I can't report what he said. But a lot of the questions pertain to Mark Kelly, Senator Mark Kelly.
Okay, now, by the way, those of you watching on the live stream with the green wall behind me, if you go to my main stream, you can see and hear all the audio and video that I play. The link to that main stream on YouTube is in the description of the video with the green wall behind me, all right?
And whether or not we can expect to see him get court-martialed. Is there anything you can say publicly about the investigation into Senator Mark Kelly and whether or not he's going to be held accountable for, encouraging members of the armed services to disobey the commander-in-chief?
Sure. So the actual inquiry has been referred to the Navy. I'm not a part of it, and so they are going through it to see what options that they're going to present. There's a range of options here. I mean, everybody's focusing on the possibility of a court-martial, but there's a whole bunch of things that they can do. They could do administrative remedies. They could give him a letter of reprimand. They could actually take one of his ranks away in retirement and lower his pension. And ultimately what they're going to do is they're going to look at the feasibility of these different things. And so if you look at what he did, and they try to say, if you look at this video, all we did was state the law. Okay, there are two problems with that. One, they misstated the law. The law is not that you have duty to disobey unlawful orders, manifestly unlawful orders, orders that are clearly illegal to everybody who hears them. So they lowered the standard first. Two, they didn't define what the unlawful orders they were talking about were, but if you instead take that video in the context of all of the other rhetoric, where they're talking about National Guard deployments are unlawful, Venezuelan boat strikes are unlawful, all of the other rhetoric, and you take those two together, then you say, okay, now what they're asking people to do is to not go to the National Guard deployments, to not execute Venezuelan boat strike orders. And that's the problem right there, is that those orders are lawful.
Okay, now this is good stuff, and Loomer is doing the interview here. This guy's in agreement with us about Kelly and his sedition. But he's going to go through, he's a naval lawyer, he's going to go through the legal problems, okay, that are coming up. And it's interesting. You got to consider this.
Now, they can argue and they can say, oh, we think that order is unlawful. And if you have a dispute where some people think it's lawful, some people think it's unlawful, that means it's not manifestly unlawful. Deploy to Chicago with the National Guard, presumed lawful. Shoot that protester in the head, manifestly unlawful. Don't do that. And that's really the difference, is that they've put it in a way that is intended to confuse and is intended to, we believe, cause dissension within the ranks. And so that's something that the Navy is looking at.
So could he possibly face jail time?
He could. I mean,
It's likely, though?
I don't think it's likely. I mean, this is just my personal opinion. The administrative hurdles you would have to get over to actually recall somebody to active duty to do that, it's been done before. But then,
what about getting him on some of his other treasonous behavior, like his involvement with the Chinese spy balloon company? I mean, he has direct ties to the CCP. I have a video of Mark Kelly that I published during the last election season of him riding into China on a motorcycle with a CCP flag,
crazy,
and assisting them in their space center.
All of these things are things that would be good to look at, and really he has both the DOJ and the Department of War that could look at these things. The difficulty with recalling him to active duty, to be quite candid with you, is the Constitution prohibits somebody from holding office in two branches at the same time. And so if he were recalled to active duty in the executive branch, you can't simultaneously hold an office in the legislative branch, which means that recall to active duty is a functional disqualification or resignation from the Senate, which could potentially cause separation of powers issues. And I could see that being litigated heavily within the district court. So there are certainly procedural hurdles to that, and I think that ultimately, the Navy, their Judge Advocate General Bly is a very smart lawyer, and I think they're going to look at those and come to the best recommendation possible.
Okay, so that's and this guy, I mean, he's on our side, and what he said there at the end fits back into what I was telling you about the judges. So, you can only hold one federal job at a time. Right? Like I remember when Eisenhower was getting the nomination for president, he was still technically a general because those 5 stars, they never fully retired. He had to physically, at the convention hotel, resign from the Army to get that nomination through. You can't hold. So as soon as they moved to recall him, you heard what the guy said. They won't go to a military court. They'll go to a federal court. Kelly's attorneys would go to a federal court. They'd find some judge appointed by Clinton or Obama or Biden, or hell, for that matter, it could be a GW judge with these guys. They would find some federal judge that would not uphold it. So, the biggest problem we have now when it comes to the swamp are these corrupt political hacks that are federal judges. That's it. So there's a lot of limitations as to what President Trump can do. All right, I'd like to hear your thoughts on all this. I brought up quite a bit. We've been on almost an hour already, so you're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far. The number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Doc from Texas.
Hey, what's up, Texas?
Hey, man, you all right this morning?
I'm always all right.
Well, good. Hey, I was this morning, I just happened to catch your show. I was watching that, I don't know what you call it, Anna Pauluna, that's her name. She's interviewing that JAG officer.
That was Laura Loomer.
Okay.
Laura Loomer.
Laura Loomer. Okay.
Can you turn down the volume in the background? Turn down the volume of whatever you're listening to me on in the background.
Actually, I'm watching Morning Joe.
Oh, who's better? I'm better, but you're calling me. Okay, go ahead.
No, you're not. You may not. Okay, anyway.
Yes,
Laura Loomer, she was interviewing a guy, and I don't think she was like what he was saying because he was saying the things to correct things. It's like, okay, if you call him back to active duty, he has to give up the position. That's going to be liquidated. That's going to be in the courts forever.
See, you didn't hear. You heard the words he said, but you didn't comprehend. He was saying that he agrees with her that he should be brought back and up on charges, maybe even face jail. But there's all these problems in the legal system that they would jam it up with. He wasn't. He was agreeing with us that he's committing sedition. He went through it in detail in the beginning.
Okay. And okay.
But hold on, let me answer these other lines.
I was listening to Marjorie Taylor Greene's interview last night on 60 Minutes for a second. Like, she doesn't consider herself MAGA. All y'all always talk about she was MAGA. She doesn't consider herself MAGA.
Well, she did.
Well, she does. She thinks she's America first, which I don't understand y'all America first MAGA because I don't understand none of y'all anyway.
America first is her. She's anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, and she doesn't have the guts to admit what she is. So she says, "Well, no, I'm not anti-Israel. I'm just America first." But that's the only country she doesn't want us involved in. She voted for continuing funding of the Ukraine war machine. So no, that's her. That's what she hides behind.
My thing about all this with Israel, Ukraine, Russia, and all this. My thing is about this. They've been fighting forever, and we keep getting involved with all that stuff. We need to start handling it. We got so many problems in the United States, and I don't think Trump is. He's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it." He ain't doing nothing.
He stopped two wars with Israel. He stopped the.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
they still fighting, Brian.
He stopped He stopped the Israel-Iranian war, and he stopped the war with Gaza.
He's still fighting, Brian.
You're talking about some skirmishes. Right,
skirmishes, they're still fighting. Skirmishes is skirmishes. They're still fighting. Brian.
No, he ended both wars.
You can say anything you want to say. They're still fighting, and you want to admit it, but that's fine. That's fine. You have your opinion. I got mine. So that's all I want to say. You have a good day, man.
And what's Morning Joe talking about?
They're talking about the boat strike and all other stuff.
The what strike?
The boat strikes, what happened with Pete Hegseth ordering the boat strikes.
So let me get this. So is Joe and Mika, they're against stopping drug importation into this country of illegal poison?
They're not. You see, that's your problem now. It is. You know what, Brian? Why did they have to shoot those boats? Why did they get Navy?
Because they're terrorists. Because they're terrorists.
Brian, our Navy is one of the greatest navies we have. Why couldn't they just go in and charge those guys? Because I agree with drugs. Trust me, drugs is destroying this country. It's destroying families.
President Trump said the other day that the importation of illegal drugs by the sea is down 90%. That's why you blow them out of the water.
What? And they just coming in some other way because you'll never stop it.
You'll never stop it completely. I mean, listen, you'll never stop. Hold on a second. You'll never stop all drunk driving. So should police stop pulling over drunk drivers?
No.
Then
Brian,
why?
No.
Okay.
You see, Brian, that's what I'm seeing. That's why we.
It's called logic.
I say you. Okay, if you think these boats are traveling drugs, pick the drugs up, pick the people up, and charge them. Don't just kill them.
They're terrorists.
You don't know.
They're terrorists.
Brian, You charge terrorists. You charge them with terrorism.
You kill them. You blow them up. You blow them up with airstrikes. What do you think we've been doing for the last week?
And you say that? You saw yourself a Christian and you're saying that? How do you know those men was on those boats? You don't know. Nobody knows.
No, our government knows.
They don't know. They lying.
If these were civilian fishermen or something, CNN and Morning Joe and Mika Brzezinski, they would be showing you. Excuse me. They would be showing you interviews with the wives and children of the dead fishermen. They're drug traffickers.
Don't know because they don't know who was on the boats, Brian. How can they interview because they don't know?
They know. They know. We have intelligence.
Brian, we need to pick them up.
Because you don't know. Listen, because you don't know doesn't mean they don't know. All right, appreciate the call. Oh, my goodness. Denial. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Montana Mark.
Oh, hey, Mark. Long time no hear.
Yeah, I don't like to talk a lot, but I want to say something.
Yeah.
I heard your podcast early Sunday morning, and I agree with you that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel have finally come out and showed the things happening.
Absolutely.
And I think, like you do, that what they came out with, how they redeemed themselves. But, you know, I want to see a lot of the Democrat criminals in the orange jumpsuit and handcuffs. But, you know, you don't get what you want. But
that's right.
I've been praying for Trump and his family's safety, praying for America's safety.
Yep.
And, you know, there's a lot of good things happening.
Absolutely.
And the one thing I pray about, the more the liberal media have to expose the criminal corruption of the Democrats, I'm praying that more of the Democrats are going to turn out voting for Trump.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's a lot of Democrats that have been red-pilled, no doubt.
And it's amazing because I've seen these little videos where the people didn't switch their party, but they voted for Trump because...
That's true, yeah. I mean, that's very true, Mark. Oh, hold on one second. There you go. All right.
Joe, you're out of the box thinking.
Well, I appreciate it.
Keep up the good work.
All right, it's good to hear from you, Montana Mark. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Cody, calling from Atlanta.
Hey, Atlanta. What's on your mind?
I just want to make sure I understood what you said. In order to drain the swamp, you have to install all MAGA federal judges. Is that right?
No, that's not what I said.
That's what you said.
No, it's not what I said.
Well, why don't you go tell me what you said then? Maybe I'm confused.
What I said was we have President Trump has been very successful with swamp draining when it comes to governors and the Congress, right? And he's even rid the bureaucracy of a lot of the problems. Federal judges...
By installing MAGA loyalists, correct?
Whatever. Federal judges...
Said, right?
Excuse me. No, it's not what I said. That's what you said. Federal judges have lifetime appointments. And what's happening, like these indictments against Comey and Letitia James, what they do is they judge shop. So they find anyone who's a federal judge is a political person because those are political appointments done by presidents and they're lifetime appointments. So they find these hack activist lunatic judges like this Clinton judge who dismisses the charges against Comey and Letitia James. We need
grand juries, because the grand juries are people though.
No. Excuse me. Right? No, excuse me. We had grand jury indictments that were tossed out by a Clinton judge. We need, when MAGA judges are appointed, or when MAGA presidents like Trump appoint MAGA judges, they don't appoint activist judges. They appoint constitutionalists, like those we have on the Supreme Court. And what a constitutionalist...
Like those that are loyal to the MAGA ideology.
No, they agree with it maybe, but it doesn't mean they're loyal. What MAGA judges do, okay, that we're talking about, they're constitutionalists.
They're called MAGA judges, right?
They won't, no. We're just using that term for the discussion. What they do is they make decisions based on what the Constitution says, not what they want it to say. That's why sometimes you'll get a decision from the Supreme Court that has many judges appointed by Trump, that's a Republican court, rule against him. As an example, the Supreme Court's going to hear the birthright citizenship issue. Chances are Trump will lose that.
The Supreme Court, like the ones that have, like, information has come out about Clarence Thomas being bought and paid for by what's that guy, the religious right guy, the part of, like, the He Gets Us campaign. I can't remember his name offhand.
Well, it's your slander. You should know. You should know what you're talking about.
Alito and his wife. Have you heard the recordings of Alito and his wife?
No, but we're talking about something else right now. So excuse me, I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question.
You're okay with a compromised court. That's what it seems
conservative judges, whether it's the Supreme Court or a lower federal bench, make their decisions and rulings based on what the Constitution says, not what they want it to be. So when this birthright citizenship issue gets to the Supreme Court, Trump is likely to lose that. We may not, we'll see, but likely to lose it because some of these judges will say, well, no, the Constitution says this. Liberal judges, hack judges, they make rulings based on what they want to happen, like they're an extension of the legislative branch. We call them activist judges legislating from the bench. That's the difference. All right, go on with your condescending tone that you had.
I guess I'm just confused. So you're telling me that the activist judges don't follow the Constitution?
Correct. That's right.
Huh. I don't know. I guess I just don't understand.
Like, okay, I give you well, you're a liberal, okay? So I'm not surprised that you don't understand these things.
I'm a leftist. I'm a leftist. Please
I know. Whatever. Okay, like as an example, Comey had an indictment. He was indicted by a federal grand jury for lying to Congress, which he did. Letitia James was indicted by a grand jury for mortgage fraud, which he did. They did some judge shopping. They found some Clinton-appointed hack judge who tossed out both indictments just because they're a never-Trumper, the judge. They tossed out two good indictments. That's activism from the bench.
How do you prove that they're activist judges then?
By these rulings.
They were appointed by Clinton?
By these rulings.
So it seems to me that if something doesn't go like towards Trump's favor, then they're just activist judges. Am I wrong?
No, these were criminal indictments by grand juries that they were clearly guilty of, and before they went to trial to allow the jury to see the evidence and decide, they judge shopped to a hack judge who tossed them out.
But y'all say this about every judge that doesn't rule in
because they're
favor.
judge shopping. They're judge shopping for federal judges that'll do their evil doing. They're looking for corrupt judges, and they go to a corrupt judge and they make their motions in front of corrupt judges. Not all judges are corrupt, but the ones they're going to are.
And the solution to this is to install MAGA loyalist judges.
Not
correct?
Install. It's to have MAGA presidents in office for the next 4 or 5 presidential terms so they can appoint conservative constitutionalist judges that'll make rulings based on the Constitution of the United States, whether it benefits our agenda or not. Why are you pretending to be stupid? You're not a dummy. Why are you pretending to be dumb?
Because your idea.
Oh, so you admit you're pretending to be dumb. I asked you, why are you pretending to be dumb? And you said, because. So you admit you're pretending to be dumb.
No. Your idea is making me feel stupid.
Well, I would feel stupid, too, if I had your position. You're ridiculous. Oh, he hung up. His ridiculous liberal position. If you're new to my channel, guys, make sure that you subscribe, okay? My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. Don't go in.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hey there, it's Brian Craig. You've heard me tell you about how Dr. Appleton has rid me of pain with his laser away pain treatment. Shoulder injuries, arthritis, knee pain, all gone, and more. But don't just take my word for it. Monica called me live on the radio to tell me how Dr. Appleton rid her of pain.
Brian, my name is Monica. I'm from Boca. I'm calling because several weeks ago I had a lot of pain on my knees, and I went to see Dr. Appleton. He relieved me from my knee pains. I can walk. And this week, I went to see him. I had excruciating pain on my hand, and I had a treatment. And I just want to say out there to everyone, it works. It really works. I am pain-free from my hand. He's amazing. Friendly staff. He's wonderful. And I highly recommend him. And I thank you so much for the recommendation. I'm very grateful.
Call Dr. Appleton right now and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. On the line, we have Bruce. Bruce is a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. He heard me talking with Joe Thomas about annuities and what a great deal they are, and he went in with his wife, and now he's a client. Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian.
So tell me about your experience with Jupiter Joe Thomas.
A fine gentleman. We sat down with Joe and we explained everything to him, and we brought all our information, and he worked everything out great.
The cool thing about annuities is your money's never at risk. You're guaranteed a revenue stream for the rest of your life, but there's a bonus, really a signing bonus, where you can make a boatload of money before you even leave Joe Thomas's office. Can you talk a little bit about that, Bruce?
Well, that's where I was surprised when we sat down. We talked about the bonuses, and to my amazement, it was 10%, and there was even another one that's bigger.
Wow, that's amazing. So you made 10% on your money before you even got back in your car.
Yeah, it was more than that, but it was great.
Listen, guys, do what Bruce did. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call. You can set up a free consultation either on the phone or in the office, and Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal just for you. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999, and online at jupiterjoe.com. All right, Bruce, thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Brian.
All right, we're back. I'm talking with Mike. Okay, hold on. Mic the board up. Okay. The number is, if you would like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. It's toll-free. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, you mentioned this. You mentioned this thing about these judges and what must be done with these judges. I mean, yeah, they'll find these judges to drop these indictments, and basically the indictment against Comey. You're not going to get another indictment in Virginia, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to do that because it's too liberal down there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but what needs to be done with these judges, and it's too high a bar for impeachment. It's 60 judges. It's just 60
well, maybe
things.
that's why Letitia James was doing her mortgage fraud in Virginia. You know, why would a New York City girl be buying all these properties and committing fraud in Virginia? Maybe, I guess she was comfortable the feds would never be able to get her there.
That's right, but here's the deal. The Constitution said they must serve with good behavior in mind. That's what the Constitution says, good behavior.
Yep.
And I've done my research on that clause in the Constitution, and it's not as high a bar as impeachment. It's basically 51 votes. It's a simple majority. So if we can get the 51 votes, we can start removing these judges due to bad behavior.
These judges are pretty corrupt. Yeah. I don't know how possible that is to do. It's a tough thing. These federal judges. I mean, they have created this illusion that somehow the president has to answer to them, like they're his boss that he reports to.
They're his boss, but again, they're telling me that participating in a coup and stuff like that is not bad behavior.
Exactly.
You know, so they're committing bad behavior. They should be not only have their pay docked, but they should be removed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're right. It's easier to impeach a judge, but they're using these judges as weapons. It wouldn't be so easy to impeach and remove from office as it would be in the past. They would really dig in. There's by the way, appreciate the call, Mike. Thanks so much. There's an old thing, that I kind of, and maybe this isn't the right way to be, but I think it is in many ways. You got to choose your battles, right? You got to choose your battles sometimes. And this is one of them, right? You got to choose your battles. So you got to weigh these things out, right? Is this a battle we can win, or is it completely hopeless? Do we want to spend a lot of political capital or public capital and cause a disaster here, but we can win over here, so maybe we should go here and do this? Yeah, do you understand what I mean, guys? There's so much corruption in the government. President Trump isn't going to be able to get all of this corruption taken care of and drain the full swamp in this term. That's why I support him running in 2028, and we need more MAGA presidents in the future. All right, Mike has arrived. We're going to be on the air on the radio in about 30 seconds. So it's the bottom of the hour break. I'm assuming they were running a best of for the first half an hour. We got about 30 seconds. We'll be back. And I've been waiting for the radio show to start to bring up this particular story that I'm going to lead with. Stand by. If you're on hold, hang in there. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. So much has happened over the weekend. This $8 billion, because that's where it's at now, this $8 billion in theft in Minnesota. This is so beautiful. There's already people, all the Somalians they brought in are not in Minnesota. They're spread in other areas of the Midwest as well. There's people in Ohio talking about Somalian fraud in Ohio. This is the largest financial scheme in history, and it's been exposed. And one of the things that came out over the weekend, the government program that they're using, that they've been using to steal from in Minnesota, the legislation for that program was introduced into Congress by Ilhan Omar. Yeah, I know. So this is great. And it started with $1 billion. Now we find out it's $8 billion. And this is something that's going to go far beyond Minnesota. And this is what I mean. After the first of the year, which is just, today's the 8th, right? So we got less than a month. As soon as we get past New Year's and everybody sobers up, it's midterm election season. This issue in Minnesota is heating up. Plus, Mike Lindell of MyPillow is running for governor in Minnesota. And he's going to be all over every media outlet, every podcast, every television station, every radio show, everywhere, talking about the $8 billion in theft, the largest financial scandal in American history in Minnesota. Wherever there are Democrats running a place, wherever Democrats are in control, there's corruption. And what's going on and what's becoming obvious to people in this country that don't even normally follow politics is that the Democrat Party isn't so much a political operation, it's a criminal operation. It's organized crime, whether it's mortgage fraud, whether it's thievery of this $8 billion in Minnesota, that it's a criminal operation. And it's like a mob family. The modern day mafia is what it is. And this story in Minnesota not only is going to heat up because after the first of the year, these investigations are going to start turning up the results of them, but on top of the fact that Tim Walz is running for re-election against the great Mike Lindell, it's going to be a major discussion all year long. Very bad news for Democrats. I think there's greater than a 50% chance that Ilhan Omar is going to be deported because of not just the immigration issues, but because of these crimes. She may self-deport. You know, it came out over the weekend that Ilhan Omar's net worth is $30 million. $30 million is her net worth. So how does a poor girl from Somalia all of a sudden become a millionaire 30 times over? And not only did she introduce the legislation for this government program that the Somalis of Minnesota have been stealing $8 billion from, right? They've got, these are political allies of her in her district. She's got pictures with all of them, and she's got all kinds of connections to all of them, as does Tim Walz. So this scandal is just a disaster for the midterm elections if you're a Democrat. Very good for us. On top, next year is going to be a very heated election year, and Democrats have nothing but problems ahead of them. In fact, they don't have any good news. None. Zero. And then when we get towards the summer and the end of summer is when all the kids are going to get the Trump accounts. All of us Americans are going to get $2,000 each for our share of the tariffs. It's going to be a great time. Now, Fox News did an incredible story. I want to read through some of this about this $8 billion in fraud. At the time that they wrote this, it was only $1 billion, but now it's $8 billion. A series of sprawling fraud schemes involving hundreds of millions of dollars stolen from Minnesota taxpayers for housing and autism services have placed the state's Somali community under a renewed intense spotlight. Okay. These fraud cases and claims that some ill-gotten gains were diverted to the Somali terrorist organization Al-Shabaab have now prompted a House investigation, a Treasury Department probe, and mounting political pressure on state leaders, including Tim Walz. The fraud revelations, combined with a string of violent crimes and revived terror concerns involving Somali-linked defendants, have shaken public confidence and raised urgent questions about why Minnesota failed to stop the scheme sooner. They only stopped them because they got caught. They were a part of it. That's why they didn't stop them. They were a part of the scheme. The developments have also deepened public unease about revived longstanding questions about assimilation, oversight, and public safety in Minnesota. The deportations have gotten so heavy in Minnesota of the Somalians that the streets and shopping centers are empty. I saw one story. I might have played this on the show on Friday. I can't remember, but there was one story. Local news went to a busy shopping mall in a Somalian neighborhood. It was a ghost town. It usually is packed. A ghost town. It looked like a dead mall because of ICE. So things are happening. Everything is great. We're going to take our last break of this hour, and when we come back, there's a lot more to share. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you they're making it through the year. They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow, the 5-pack, for just $29.98. Get the My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25. And a blowout sale on the standard MyPillows for just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716 716-4879 and use the promo code KANE to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now just $14.98. Queens, $18.99. Kings, only $1 more. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but MyPillow has just announced they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, or call 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE for huge savings on your Christmas shopping. Have you ever walked into a room and wished the walls could say something? Something warm, something inspiring, and something uniquely you. At seaofglasseternalart.etsy.com, created by artist Shelly Ann, you'll find artwork that does exactly that. Shelly Ann creates charming, eclectic pieces that blend vintage styles and playful details. It's artwork designed to inspire, delight, and bring lasting warmth to your home or office. Whether you love bold color, soft nostalgia, or something beautifully offbeat, there's a piece waiting for you at seaofglasseternalart.etsy.com. These are the kind of pieces that become cherished keepsakes, perfect for birthdays, holidays, housewarming, or just because moments. You can even order many already framed and ready to hang the moment they arrive. So why settle for blank walls when you can fill your space with joy, personality, and art that speaks to you? Go right now to seaofglasseternalart.etsy.com. Browse the full collection. You will be impressed. That's seaofglasseternalart.etsy.com. Bring home something beautiful right now. seaofglasseternalart.etsy.com. Sometimes the hardest thing to ask for is help. And yet behind closed doors, millions of families are struggling with the basics. The light bill, the rent, the phone that keeps them connected to work and school. Not because they failed, but because life hits hard. That's why there's CloakedCare.com, a first-of-its-kind platform built on dignity, privacy, and real compassion. At CloakedCare.com, people can privately post the essential bills they're fighting to keep up with: utilities, medical cost, rent, phone, and more. And donors can choose a bill and pay directly toward it, with funds sent straight to the verified service providers. There's no uncertainty, no middlemen, just real help for real needs. CloakedCare.com was founded by Marine Corps veteran Leighton Clybourne and was named the best anonymous bill payment service in the United States for 2025, honoring its transparent and innovative approach to modern giving. At CloakedCare.com, every contribution makes a measurable impact, keeping a home warm, a phone connected, or the lights on during a tough month. it's people helping people, quietly, respectfully, transparently. CloakedCare.com. That's CloakedCare. Visit today to ask for help or to be the help someone's been praying for. CloakedCare.com. All right, we will be back on the radio in seconds. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. So, Ilhan Omar, she went on Face the Nation over the weekend, and she's in a panic. I mean, we've been following her for a while. Her condescending tone is gone, and I got to tell you, in the last week, her face looks puffier. I don't know if it's from eating or not sleeping, but her face is very puffy. We got a lot of makeup on her, but her face is much puffier than it was a week ago. I don't know what's going on. The stress is getting to her. So she goes on Face the Nation, friendly territory, trying to get a false narrative going, talking about the $8 billion in thievery from the program that she brought to Minnesota.
Because, as you know, one of the initial defenses by the organization...
Oh, now I want to point out, I do this a lot. She's being interviewed by the Face the Nation anchorette. Her husband is a Syrian. She's married to a Syrian Muslim guy, and she's sitting here with one of the most high-profile Muslim people in American government, Ilhan Omar, who's looking very puffy, drinking, eating, not sleeping. She's not looking the way she's if you've seen her on TV over the weekend, she doesn't look her normal self.
Because, as you know, one of the initial defenses by the organization at the heart of the fraud, feeding our future was to claim the probe was due to racism. Do you think that this was all about negligence, or that it was like political fear of alienating the Somali community?
So you have to remember that the woman who led the program is a Caucasian woman.
Oh, a Caucasian woman. What does that mean? Does she think that those of us who are Caucasian, and that, you know, and when she says she's a Caucasian woman, she does this thing. She backs up from, she leans into the host, and when she says, is a Caucasian woman, she backs up and smiles like she's made some point. Does she think because the woman's Caucasian that those of us who are Caucasian will say, oh, it was a white person behind this thievery? Oh, okay. That's how racist she is, that she thinks white people who are conservative Americans, that if we find out that this largest financial scandal in the history of the United States government, that a white woman was in charge of this program at the local level in Minnesota, that we'll think it's okay? Oh, boy.
Fear of alienating the Somali community.
So you have to remember that the woman who led the program is a Caucasian woman. And that was her way of making sure that this would continue to happen by using whatever rhetoric that was available to her. We do know that when the money was stopped, they did sue. The AG, Attorney General Keith Ellison, defended the department in that lawsuit. It was a judge that said it should continue, that money should continue to go out. And so this wasn't something that people were not looking at. There was always those alarms, and we will continue to understand where things might have gone wrong as these investigations continue and as these fraudsters are prosecuted and sent to jail.
Well,
oh boy. So what she's telling us, Ilhan Omar, is that the Somalis are actual victims of some white lady that we've never seen or heard of before. That's not going to fly. We don't support any crime that's being done by anyone. This is going to be one of the biggest election year issues out there because Scott Bessett's on this investigation. It falls under the Treasury Department, I guess, because of the government funding of this program where all the fraud was connected. So Scott Bessett, our openly gay Secretary of Treasury, is overseeing this. In fact, his department's the one that found all the fraud for President Trump. This is going to be one of the biggest issues next year. Now, and if they continue on this route of playing the race card, that's not going to fly. I mean, people are tough. Now, there's one issue. I hate to even talk about this, but it's got to be addressed. The Democrats have had some successes starting false narratives. Okay, that's how they got Mamdani elected. I've talked about that a lot, so I'm not going to get into that now. But they have a false issue out there, just a totally made-up issue and controversy and crisis. It's called the affordability crisis. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to finish this because I will forget. I meant to bring this up earlier and I keep forgetting. There is no affordability crisis, okay? This is a made-up crisis. No one, except maybe Scott Bessett or President Trump and people like that, can afford anything that they want. We all have budgets. There's no affordability crisis, but the Democrats and their allies in the fake news media have been very successful in selling this. And I've seen some I've seen some Republicans on the news over the weekend addressing the affordability crisis. Big mistake. Big mistake. The only way to address it is to point out that it does not exist. It's a made-up crisis. You know, if you go out there and start addressing the crisis, we are responding to them with something they completely fabricated. In fact, affordability crisis, I don't even heard of this. This is a new term they invented in the last, month or two. Never heard of this phrase or term or anything, but it is gaining steam, this totally fictitious crisis. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
I agree. Brian, I agree with you with this thing. I don't know if you remember the Procter and Gamble soap deal that went down in South Florida, where they set up a bunch of stores that were dummy stores, and they were saying they were selling soap, and they were billing Procter and Gamble. No. They had these, they were cutting coupons. It was a coupon deal, but this is so bad. But the problem is this, and I agree with you. It should be like you say. I mean, morally it should be. But I watched television yesterday. I watched Meet the Press and I watched Stephanopoulos. You know what the two big topics were? And they never mentioned this. And so they control the narrative on there. You know what they were? They were the bombing of the boats.
Yes.
And the other that was the number one. And then it was the health care.
And the affordability crisis, which healthcare is a part of in their false fake narrative. Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say to you is these people put what they want and they ignore what they want. And the fact of the matter is, and you might disagree with me, the Somali thing, to me, I wouldn't know a damn thing about it. And so I know about it. I know how crooked they are, and they all should go. But what affects the people in this particular state more? The health care deal or the Somali thing in Minnesota? What I'm trying to say is that I think the Somali thing is the worst thing in the world. And the health care is Democratic fault. But it's this narrative that these liars on the media push down the people's throat. And I think that I think that's going to be a bigger issue in the election if we don't get that thing straightened out. And it ain't our fault, but they're blaming Republicans, and it's terrible.
You're talking, I mean, listen, these are all, you're right. The mainstream media are not covering the $8 billion
not at all.
In Minnesota. That is correct. Yeah, they're not mentioning it. No.
But the health care is going to affect how many people in this country?
I don't think hardly anyone. The healthcare system's probably stronger because we're not supporting all the illegals anymore on it.
Yeah, but they're dropping, the premiums are going to skyrocket, and that's what they're talking about. And once the families see that those premiums go up, they're not going to be thinking about Somalia. And they're blaming the Republicans for it. They said we wanted to get a 3-year extension. How rich are these people? They first asked for a 1-year extension, and we turned them down. Now they're talking 3-year. And the healthcare.
Here's the thing. One of the reasons Trump has been successful since he came down the escalator is he's never responding to the Democrats and the media and their fake garbage, right? He's always deciding what the narrative is. And whenever you're responding, you're losing. When they're responding to you, you're winning. So a lot of Republicans are falling for this discussion of the affordability crisis that this totally made up thing of which the healthcare is a part of. If you're discussing it, you're playing into their hands. There's no winning that discussion. It's a made-up issue, and it goes around and around and around, and that's it. And it's, I get
it. I understand. I agree with you. But the fact still is that these premiums, they're going to get their notices as of January 1st. The health care is going to double and triple and sometimes quadruple. Yeah. And they're blaming Trump.
Yeah.
And the media is blaming Trump. And they're all, and like guys like Christie, and it's amazing to watch.
This issue is going to, let me tell you, this affordability crisis thing is going to disappear. The Minnesota scandal will continue to grow. It's already, we're hearing in Ohio that there's Somalians in Ohio that are doing the same thing. Okay, and we're going to find out that there's more of these operations in other parts of the country.
You know what their culture is? They are pirates at sea. They were attacking vessels for years, robbing people. They had a movie with Tom Hanks about this.
Yeah.
These are pirates.
Yes.
They have no government, and their whole thing is let's steal. Mm-hmm. And she is so disgusting.
All right, Richie, I gotta run, but I appreciate the call, okay? I want to tell you guys about the Sloman's Home Security offer. They're offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring. You get all that for just $24.95 a month for 5 years, okay? A free home security system and professional installation, absolutely free. It includes a touchscreen keypad, 3 door or window sensors, a motion detector, notification, and remote keypad access, so you can check in no matter where you are. I'm going to give you the number. This makes a great Christmas gift for yourself in your own home, for your family, but also your adult children living outside the home, for grandma, grandpa, or your parents, okay? Give them a call. 5 years for $24.95 a month. That's a good deal. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. All right, we're going to take our break. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Back after our top of the hour break. We're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Hank from Hollywood. How you doing?
All right, Hank. What's on your mind?
I called Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. He sent out Scott. Now, Scott is absolutely the best. Scott and Scott's crew are the absolute best. They gave me a great price. They did the job when they said they were going to do it. They finished the job when they said they were going to do it. The materials they used, absolutely the best. I want to thank Tom. I definitely want to thank Scott, and definitely want to thank Scott's crew. These people are number one, and I just want your listeners to know, Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. If you need a new roof, call Tom at Tom Laporta Roofing. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to be disappointed.
Do what Hank did. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you they're making it through the year. They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow, the 5-pack, for just $29.98. Get the My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25. And a blowout sale on the standard MyPillows for just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879 and use the promo code KANE to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now just $14.98. Queens, $18.99. Kings, only $1 more. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but MyPillow has just announced they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, or call 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE for huge savings on your Christmas shopping. All right. Yeah, guys, we'll be back on the radio in less than 2 minutes. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. 2631. Oh my goodness. Okay. Got so much to do in this hour. Let me see. I'm getting my commercials ready for the next hour. Okay, we got about 30 seconds and we'll be back. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. The 7 o'clock hour has begun. Welcome. We've covered a lot already. There's a few things. I'm going to play a clip for you that I want to hear your thoughts on in a moment. But first, I want to tell you this. This war on MAGA that's going on in this country by the permanent Washington political class is going to all new levels. I'm not going to get into all the details of this now, but their most recent target is Benny Johnson. And you may have heard this, what's going on with Benny Johnson over the weekend. It's going to get bigger. I don't know if it'll make it on television. But, you know, when the Never Trumpers assassinated Charlie Kirk, there's been total chaos among the conservative influencers, the top guys, you know, that are all famous. And a lot of them have been angling the takeover turning point. And it seemed that Benny Johnson has kind of been the heir of that. And now they're going after Benny Johnson to bring him down. And if you've seen the story out there, I'm not going to go through it now. I may talk about it later in the week or on my podcast. I don't know. It's really disgusting what they're doing to Benny Johnson. And it's all an effort to discredit him because he didn't take over Turning Point, but he is a MAGA influencer, and because there's a void after the Never Trumper assassination of Charlie Kirk, he got elevated and a lot, and that's why they're going after him now. And what's happening to Benny Johnson and his family is so disgusting and so low life, and there's so many evildoers out there. Now, I want to share something about Tucker Carlson, and I very much want to hear your opinions on this. Tucker Carlson has been taking very strange positions over the last year. He's said terrible things over the years about President Trump. He's not a MAGA guy. When he was fired by Fox, he was elevated as a big hero of the MAGA movement and conservatism and the new media. And after he got elevated, things got weird with it. He was saying all the right things, and then all of a sudden he became anti-Israel, anti-this, anti-Trump even, right? And Laura Loomer's been doing a lot of reporting that Tucker Carlson is being paid by Qatar. Now, again, I don't know. All I know is that Laura Loomer's always right. Her reporting is always right. And this clip I want to play, Tucker Carlson, this is courtesy of Laura Loomer, dropped this on social media over the weekend. And this is only one thing that she's doing a lot of reporting on Tucker. Tucker Carlson traveled to Qatar, and he's on stage talking with the Prime Minister of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed. And Tucker Carlson dropped something that I think is very weird. Okay, listen to this. This is Tucker Carlson. The first voice you hear is the Prime Minister of Qatar, and then you hear Tucker.
Whenever we are needed to help and to support within that process, but I believe it is solvable. It can be achieved. It's not something impossible.
So last question. I've been personally, not to make it about me, but I have been criticized as being a tool of Qatar. And I just want to say what you already know, which is I've never taken anything from your country and don't plan to. I am, however, tomorrow buying a place in Qatar.
Whoa. He's buying a home in Qatar. Now, I don't know if it's in a house. I don't know if it's an apartment, a condo. But he's buying a home in Qatar. Why would someone like him do that? Why would you do that? He's got kids. Does he have a daughter? Would he take his wife to Qatar? What are the rules for women? Why buy a home in Qatar?
Personally, not to make it about me, but I have been criticized as being a tool of Qatar. And I just want to say what you already know, which is I've never taken anything from your country and don't plan to.
Okay, now, I don't know what that means. I haven't taken anything from your country. That implies he hasn't been paid by the government. That doesn't mean he hasn't gotten money through other sources if in exchange for lobbying and supporting Qatar. I don't think there's anything wrong with people getting paid. Okay? But if he's getting paid by some influence through Qatar, that has to do with Qatar, he's being dishonest about it. And that's a problem. Okay? But I find it incredibly weird, strange, and very troubling that he is buying a place. We don't know what kind of place, but he's buying a place in Qatar. That's very strange. I mean, how much is he going to be there that he needs to have a place? What's the purpose of that? Let me rewind it, and we'll play the whole thing.
Not something impossible.
So last question. I've been personally, not to make it about me, but I have been criticized as being a tool of Qatar. And I just want to say what you already know, which is I've never taken anything from your country and don't plan to. I am, however, tomorrow buying a place in Qatar. Both
please,
because I am
pay a high check
in Doha, yeah, and I'm doing that because I like the city. I think it's beautiful, but also to make the statement that I'm an American and a free man, and I'll be wherever I want to be, which I think is important. But that does kind of leave us in a place where I have not taken any money from Qatar. I have instead given money to Qatar. And I wonder if you feel that that means I've bought you and you will now spew my propaganda.
Well, thank you. Just ask me whatever you want me to do for you, I will do it. But look, Tucker, unfortunately, as I told you, that there are a lot of players putting a lot of efforts to sabotage the relationship between Qatar and the United States and to try to demonize anyone who will come to this country. Our efforts, when we are lobbying or doing, our outreach in the United States, is to make sure that this relationship is safeguarded. And the relationship for us is mutually beneficial. We are not getting aid from the United States. Instead, we are buying from the United States. We are partnering with them. We are investing in the United States investing in Qatar. And this relationship has been always a two-way relationship. And we pay all these amounts for lobbying only to protect and to safeguard this relationship. If we were not being attacked and under a lot of disinformation campaign that's been unfortunately funded by other players who doesn't want to see a U.S.-Qatar relationship flourish, we would spend this money for better things, to do with the relationship.
Sheikh Mohammed, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sheikh Mohammed. This is just me. Okay, now, I understand, President Trump took the plane. He's doing the Middle Eastern peace process. The Middle East has always been a thorn in our side in my lifetime, and it's all because they've got the oil wealth, and that's important, oil. Although the more we drill for here, the less important their oil becomes, right? None of the peace plans and processes have worked. President Trump is definitely doing an outside of the box kind of thing, which I support, right? He's making friends with some bad people over there, but for overall peace, so people stop dying, we get some stability, and then hopefully, we can win them over. But that's different than what Tucker's doing, right? I don't know why anyone in his position would buy a place, that's the word he used, in Qatar, in some fancy neighborhood that the prime minister is pretty impressed with. It can't be cheap. Qatar is one of the most prosperous countries around. Why would he need a home there? He says, just to prove a point, that I'm a free American. I can buy and stay and live where I choose. You're not going to tell me. Nah. It's too big of a deal to make. That's just a weird thing to do. I don't... Tucker Carlson isn't one of us, okay? He's Steve Kane, he said, a couple weeks ago we were talking about Tucker, he said he's overrated. I'll agree with that. But the time of celebrating him as some great anything is over for me. He's definitely on the suspect list here. I just find that weird to buy a property in Qatar. listen, I know they pay a lot of people to go over there, a lot of Americans to go over there and speak and visit. Okay, I don't know, is that good? Is it bad? Maybe, maybe not, But to buy a place there, that's entrenching yourself over there. I think that sends a message to Qatar more so than anybody over here. And it sends a message that he's with them. He's planning a long-term commitment to their country. There's something fishy about that. I still believe he's deep state guy, CIA, not just because of his father, but because of what Putin said and everything that went on with Fuentes and all this stuff. I still believe that. And he needs to, and whatever his place is in Qatar, that's a place that can't be, that he can do whatever he does there. Nobody will know it. We won't know what he does in Qatar, will we? Nope. What he does in Qatar, no one will know. Why would he need a place over there? Do any of you, how do you feel about that? Number one, does it make you suspicious of Tucker? Is Tucker's place in Qatar a CIA station? Do you buy his story that he just wants to prove he's a free American man and he can buy property wherever he wants? I don't think so. I want to talk about Life Imaging FLA. This is December. And holiday time, and there's a lot of holidays over this month. Did you know is the deadliest time of year for heart attacks? That's right. According to the American Heart Association, more people die from heart attacks during the last week of December than at any other time of the year. You want to get over to Life Imaging FLA, get that heart scan. Ask them about the cancer screening. They find, sometimes with me, no plaque, no blockage, no cancer, everything's cool. But a lot of times they find people have issues, sometimes even over 80% blockage. And they stop a heart attack from happening by prevention, finding out about it so you can go to the doctor and take care of it. Life Imaging FLA offers free heart scans with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. While you're there, please ask about their full body cancer screening so you get that ultimate peace of mind. Life Imaging FLA is all about proactive health care. They're saving lives before symptoms even appear. This December, give yourself the gift of health and schedule your scan today. By the way, schedule a scan for your husband, your wife, grandma, grandpa, your brother, your sister, your kids. Get peace of mind for everyone. Give them a call. They have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach County. Pick up your cell phone and call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. Pound 250, say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. My name's Brian. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you they're making it through the year. They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow, the 5-pack, for just $29.98. Get the My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25. And a blowout sale on the standard MyPillows for just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716 716-4879 and use the promo code KANE to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now just $14.98. Queens, $18.99. Kings, only $1 more. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but MyPillow has just announced they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, or call 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE for huge savings on your Christmas shopping. Do you ever wish you could step back into the greatest decade of all time? The 80s? You're not alone. That's when members-only jackets made you cool. Parachute pants swished with every move. When leg warmers, big hair, and neon ruled. And your Walkman, Atari 2600, and Rubik's Cube were your most prized possessions? If you missed the A-Team, Knight Rider, breakdancing, hair metal, arcades, and that unmistakable new wave sound, you're not alone. Welcome to WeLoveThe80s.com. The community built by people who still believe the 80s were hands down the most iconic decade ever. At WeLoveThe80s.com, they celebrate everything that made the 80s unforgettable. The music, the movies, the fashion, the video games, the attitude, and of course, the memories that shaped a generation. If the 80s live in your heart, relive them with WeLoveThe80s.com. That's WeLoveTheeighties.com. Go right now to WeLoveThe80s.com and take your place among the totally awesome. Okay, we got 30 seconds and we'll be back. We're still in radio break. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. All right, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. First poll I've seen for the midterm elections, 2026 generic congressional ballot. Republicans lead by 4 points, 48-44. And this is the Napolitan News RMG poll, and it was just done this last week. It's the first poll that I've seen, and we're ahead, which is pretty good. All right, to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
How's it going, man?
What's up?
Okay. Well, first of all, this sucker, there's a lot of reasons I think he's pulling this nonsense buying the house over. One of them is that he wants to show that, you see, the world should be someplace that anybody can migrate to if they want to. We shouldn't stop people coming through this country.
Really?
I think that's one of his problems. But then there's something a lot more than that, though. He's buying over there. He's getting too much involved with those people. They don't like us, and we took their planes. President Trump is smart. I mean, why would he turn down all that money? But they're certainly not friendly.
I'm surprised. Hold on a second. A thing about the plane from Qatar. We haven't seen that plane at all. Have you seen it anywhere since it got here? I don't know why that story's but I wouldn't. This is just me personally. I will never visit a Muslim country ever.
No, me either, man. I had the opportunity to do some business. I go there. I said, I'm not going over there.
No way.
I do trade shows. I'm not going there. Oh, it's okay. No, thank you. I'm not going. Nope. Not going. No, thank you.
I will never go to a Muslim country ever, under any circumstances. I'd be terrified.
Well, I did go to Turkey. Turkey.
Oh, so you've been to a Muslim? That's the largest mosque in the world is in Turkey.
Yeah, I went to that to see it. Everybody was very nice over there, except the police. The police are miserable people. They come, if you get in their way, they'll knock you down. But I went there because I had to go because for business.
How long ago was that? Oh man,
that was 20 years ago.
Haven't you ever seen the movie Midnight Express?
Yes, I forgot what it was about.
Watch that movie. You watch that movie, you will never go to Turkey. Midnight Express.
Yeah.
Based on a true story.
It was the people over there were very nice. They seemed not bothering me.
I've met a lot of nice Muslim people, but I would be very scared in a Muslim country. You have no rights. They have no. It's a whole nother civilization than ours. No, I wouldn't go to a Muslim country.
Well, I was shocked in Istanbul, man. There's a lot of gay people. I thought gays were not allowed, but man, there's a lot of gays.
What were you doing in the gay neighborhood of Istanbul?
No, I was just in Istanbul to meet some of my exhibitors.
Oh.
But walking around, going to a restaurant, you see all these gay people walking. I said, "Wow!" I thought. Anyway.
All right, Doug.
So Tucker is certainly not on my list as
it's one thing to visit. There's nothing wrong with visiting, but to buy a property over there, I don't buy this story that he's buying a property because I want to show everyone I'm a free man and I can move and buy and live where I want to live. Nah, I don't buy that.
Yeah, unless they basically give it to him, maybe buy a property. It's normally $1 million. We'll give it to you for $10,000.
That's a lot of times how people get paid. They get a good deal, then they can resell it, and then they make the money. That's I'm not saying that's what Tucker's doing, but it's a way to get paid without officially getting paid. You can do all kinds of things like that. You buy a property really cheap, and then you resell it at either fair market value or an inflated cost, and then all of a sudden, you got paid without, I'm not saying that's what Tucker's doing, but that could be done here.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of strange, very strange.
Well, listen, I got to run, Doug, but I appreciate the call. I want to mention one last thing about the Benny Johnson thing. I'm not getting into the details of it. You guys can look it up online. It's pretty nasty. The reason I bring it up, though, in my view, the same people are behind this Benny Johnson attack that are behind these terrible attacks on J.D. Vance lately. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I was talking last week on the program. I think Greg, too, had called in, and this brought this discussion up. It was Greg, too. They've been doing these bizarre attacks on Charlie Kirk's widow and on J.D. Vance's wife. And these are beyond fair debate, right? First off, Erica Kirk is a widow. You don't go after widows. J.D. Vance's wife is the least political person you could be married to a top politician in Washington. They're going after her. She's a civilian. This thing with Benny Johnson, it's not just Benny they're going after. They're specifically attacking Benny Johnson's wife. Who goes after, going after a person's wife who's a civilian? She's not politically active or anything. Going after a person's wife, whether it's Erica Kirk, Mrs. Vance, or Mrs. Benny Johnson, is a very unusual tactic. Very few people would cross that line. And the fact that the line's been crossed by all three tells me it's the same people. And Benny Johnson has made his what very well could be his first mistake. He's responded, and that's once you respond like he's done, they feed into it. So that just there's a big it's a further attack on the MAGA movement. All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom. Here we are. It's December 8th. Are you in pain? Why? Why have you not gone to see Dr. Appleton yet? Living with pain is not something you have to do, and you don't have to take a bunch of pills for it either. Dr. Appleton's laser wave pain treatment has rid me of pain 7 times, and it doesn't just rid you of pain, the robotic laser with Dr. Appleton. It repairs the damage in your body that's causing you the pain. And that's why when he's rid me of pain, the pains have not returned, because he's repaired the damage that's causing the pain, whether it's my arthritis from my car accident, my falling off the skateboard. Over the weekend, I put up Christmas lights around the gutters of my house, my whole house. I'm up there on the I would not have been able to do that before Dr. Appleton rid me of shoulder pain, arthritis pain, and knee pain. Up on the ladder, took me all day to do it. and I could do it. I could lift my arm up. I'm putting everything up. I'm putting all the lights up. I'm stretching. I'm up on the ladder, and it's awesome. And I'll tell you, I don't have the fears I used to have because I know if I get hurt and I'm in pain, I can go see Dr. Appleton and rid me of pain again. Call Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays, okay? Dr. Appleton can rid you of pain, too. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. Remember, the consultation is free. Take advantage of the no-charge consultation and let Dr. Appleton tell you how he can rid you of pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. If you're on hold, stand by. Back to the phones after this break. On the line, we have one of our listeners, Jeff. He heard me talking with George Colony recently, our real estate guy here on the program, about how he can turn renters into property owners. And he gave George Colony a call, and they met. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, Brian, thank you so much.
Yeah, so tell me what prompted you to call George Colony, and then tell me how the meeting went.
I've been looking forever for a property to buy, and I've had all kinds of issues come up, and I really needed someone who had that professional experience to help me overcome all the different issues that are likely when you're trying to buy a house. And so I went to meet him, and I was totally impressed with his brain power and his ability to solve problems. He gave me lots of good ideas to help get me through into a house and become an owner. Real estate can be a hearty headache for sellers. It's really a complicated process, and you really need someone who's an expert and a problem solver. So if you're selling your house, you need to know the agent that you can trust and that he has the brain power to figure out the problems that typically arise in every settlement. And I met George Colony myself. I personally interviewed him. He's really good at helping buyers and sellers. He's going to help me buy a house, so I'm really excited to highly recommend him for all the listeners of the show. He gave me 2 great projects to get myself into a house and become an owner as opposed to just a renter.
That's absolutely amazing, Jeff. And, George Colony can turn you who are renters into owners. And you know what? He can do it with you paying less every month than you're paying in rent. Give George Colony a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, so you can call or text just like Jeff did. 954-801-7320. That's 954-801-7320. All right, we've got a little time till we're back. If you're on hold, stand by. This is Tom Holman over the weekend. This is amazing.
I look at the numbers every day. On Friday, I looked at the numbers. There's over 62,000 children found by the Trump administration. Children that weren't even being looked for under the Biden administration. President Trump saved over 62,000 children's lives. Some of these children were in sex trafficking, we found them. Some were in forced labor. Some were being mistreated. I can't even discuss some of the mistreatment we found out about. President Trump, again, proves why he's the greatest president in my lifetime. Over 62,000 children rescued by President Trump. Again, children that were ignored and weren't being looked for under President Biden. I look at
Wow. 62,000 children rescued, missing children, some of them in slavery. Forced labor is slavery. Thank you, President. He deserves the Nobel Prize just for that. 62,000. We'll be back in about a minute on the radio or at the bottom of the hour break. If you're on hold, stand by. I will go to the phones when we get back. Isn't that amazing? Yes, yes. I want to talk about these in a little bit. These are the Bobby Kennedy Doritos, and I got 4 bags of them. The Cool Ranch. These are so good. I'm going to talk about these later. They're better than regular Cheetos and regular Fritos. I had 4 bags. There's only 3 because I ate the one of the regular Doritos. It's gone. Well, welcome back, Chuck. All right, I'm going to go to the phones when we get back, though. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is the Major, the C-130 ex-CIA pilot.
Hey, what's up?
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Listen, I need to tell you something. I've never told you this before. Of course, I've been following you over 40 years, you and Steve. I never told you, I have a twin brother, who's 10 minutes younger, and just a few days ago, I put him into hospice at Broward Care.
Oh.
And I just would appreciate some prayers from all your listeners.
Absolutely. What's his first name?
Jacob.
All right, everybody, if you could say some prayers for Jacob.
Yeah, thank you very much, because I've been following you for decades. Keep up the good work.
All right, appreciate the call. Yeah, pray for Jacob, his brother. Yeah. I want to play this. This is an amazing story. It's the great Tom Homan, and he was on Fox over the weekend. Listen to this.
I look at the numbers every day. On Friday, I looked at the numbers. There's over 62,000 children found by the Trump administration. Children that weren't even being looked for under the Biden administration. President Trump saved over 62,000 children's lives. Some of these children were in sex trafficking, we found them. Some were in forced labor. Some were being mistreated. I can't even discuss some of the mistreatment we found out about. President Trump, again, proves why he's the greatest president in my lifetime. Over 62,000 children rescued by President Trump. Again, children that were ignored and weren't being looked for under President Biden.
Wow. President Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize just for this. I guess we'll have to settle for the soccer award. By the way, is it FIFA or FIFA? I don't know. FIFA, FOFA, I don't know. But President Trump deserves awards all day. 62,000 children rescued from the worst conditions a child can be in, right? Forced labor, that's slavery. And some were being sex trafficked by perverts. That's hardly even in the news. It's the only time I've heard anybody talk about it is right there with Tom Homan. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. If you're on hold, hang in there. You know, Tom Homan here, think about that. 62,000, that's just children, right? Just children. And, you know, when you look at the coverage that this president gets, never does he get credit for much of anything he does. No doubt about that. That is one of the most amazing things any president of the United States has ever done. Rescuing 62,000 children. Think about it. I mean, have their parents been looking for them? Were they kidnapped? Were they abducted? How often are children abducted for slavery or sex trafficking, and they make their way home? And of course, these kids are never the same. They're messed up forever in a day. No doubt about it. Now, I want to mention something. This is crazy, okay? I'll forget to mention this. Bobby Kennedy, with his Make America Healthy Again agenda, okay? How they're taking the dyes out of, the foods and everything. I went over to Walmart yesterday, and they have, I got the first, I'm calling them Bobby Kennedy Doritos and Bobby Kennedy Cheetos. I have very few vices, right? And there's vices much worse than mine to have. One of my vices is my Starbucks coffee, no doubt. I love Doritos and Cheetos, especially Doritos. And I went to Walmart yesterday morning and got, there's 4 kinds. Regular Cheetos, what are the other ones? The hot and spicy Cheetos, the regular nacho original Doritos, and the Cool Ranch Doritos. The Cool Ranch are my favorite. I got a bag of each. They were on sale at Walmart. 4 bags. Not only do they taste the same as the regular ones with all the dyes in them, they're better. I had 4 bags. I only got 3 because one of them was eaten yesterday. The regular Doritos, I don't have those. I've got the Cool Ranch, the hot Cheetos, and the regular Cheetos. And they don't have the red dye in them that they had, right? Now, they taste the same. They just are, they have no color to them. And, yeah, these are the bags. Now, I have the bags here in the studio. And you look at the Cheetos, and what makes them better is they taste exactly the same, but what makes them better is because they don't have that dye in them. They don't have that powder all over them, right? That you get when you're, so when you eat Cheetos or Doritos, your fingers are just covered in all the Cheeto dust and Dorito dust. There's no dust on these. So you don't have any of that. So they're not as messy, but they taste exactly the same. And they're good. They don't have them on the regular aisle, okay? You have to, when I went into the Super Walmart, they had them on a display when you walked in the front door. It'd probably be that way at and they're on sale. They're $3.97. And they're usually almost $5, and you can get them for $3.97. So those of you liberals that are worried about food prices, I'm calling them the Bobby Kennedy Doritos and the Bobby Kennedy Cheetos. I hope that they have other foods like this. I mean, I don't know what those dyes have been doing to us, but I know that the problem I have with Doritos, this is something I don't. This is just an anecdotal experience, okay? I love Doritos like nobody's business. I mean, no, it's crazy, And I have 2 problems with Doritos. When I get a bag of Doritos, I'll eat the whole bag. And I'll eat the whole bag because they're so good. A bag of Doritos, if it lasts 2 days in my house, you'd be lucky. But I've had an allergy to Doritos where I'll eat the Doritos, and then afterwards, I have breathing problems. I was really eating these things yesterday because they're new and I wanted to test them out. And I didn't realize it until this morning. I did not have the normal allergic reaction to the Doritos. This was the regular nacho ones. Before bed last night, I'm like, well, let me get those out. I'm chowing down on them. Usually, if I eat that many Doritos, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll have breathing issues. No issues. Now, I don't know if, I just assumed my allergy was to the wheat or whatever was in the Doritos, and now I'm wondering, did I have an allergy to that red dye or the powder or whatever it was? I don't know. But this is the first time I've eaten that many Doritos, and I've not had an allergic reaction. But these Bobby Kennedy Doritos and Cheetos, you got to go out and get them. And I was guessing, it caught me off guard with I got the hot and spicy Cheetos, the two, that regular and the hot and spicy ones. And usually when you get if you get the regular hot and spicy Cheetos, they're like flame red, right? But these are not. They're like they're like white. And it caught me off guard because I guess mentally. And I was thinking, well, why do they put the dye in there? And I'm guessing because when Doritos and Cheetos were new, they had to put the dye in there to color them up to get people interested in eating them because they were new. You don't need that now. They taste very good. So if you go over to Walmart, I don't know if they have them at other stores. I know they have them at the Walmarts. Pick them up and try them and let me know your thoughts. Speaking of eating Doritos, I still haven't gained any weight. I weigh myself about once a week now that I'm in the maintain phase with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And I'm not eating. I eat what I would normally eat. Like I'm eating the Bobby Kennedy Doritos last night. I haven't gained any weight. The maintain phase with Coastal Weight Loss Secret is so effortless because I didn't have any big lifestyle changes with the system, right? Eating foods I would normally eat, like my Bobby Kennedy Doritos. Probably Dr. Zuckerman probably would not recommend eating a whole bag, but it's a new thing, Doc. Forgive me. But no exercise, no drugs, no shots, no injections, no prescription medications, nothing. emphasis on no exercise. And because I didn't have major lifestyle changes with the foods or with the exercise regimen or anything, now when I lost all the weight and then more than I planned on losing, right? I lost over 35 pounds. Maintaining it is without effort, and I've gained no weight back. In fact, I was doing some cleaning in the house yesterday. I came across a pair of jeans from the 90s, and they've been stocked away since the 90s. And I know they were the 90s because they're very baggy jeans. Remember, jeans were really baggy back in the 90s, like boot cut and baggy all over. They fit like a glove because I'm at the weight I was back in the early and mid 90s now. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. Remember, they can help you lose weight no matter where you're located. The number is 561-247-6300. It's a no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlosssecret.com. We'll be right back. All right, we're clear. All right, where am I going here? Hold on. All right. Yeah, they're good. I'll show you the hot and spicy. Okay, these are the... Oh, let me see what time we're coming back. These are the flaming hot Cheetos, right? Let me show you what they look like. Flaming hot Cheetos. Look at that. They're white. Look at that. They're completely white. Right? They taste good. Oh my gosh, they're spicy though. Woo-wee. They are spicy. Oh. Ugh. But you got to get used to them being white, because usually when they're like fire red, you know it's going to be hot. They're good. Come on. How many of you like they're spicy? They are hot. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. No, what's the NKD stand for? No what? Simply NKD? I don't know. Naked of Dyes. It stands for Naked of Dyes. And then here's the regular Cheetos. You know, totally white. No good. I don't care. They taste good. Bobby Kennedy Cheetos. That's what they are. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back in a little more than a minute. If you like Doritos and Cheetos, press 1 in the chat, guys. Come on. Tell me what your favorite is, too. Mine is the Cool Ranch Doritos. Mm-hmm. That's these. These are the Cool Ranch Doritos. Okay. Cool Ranch. Oh, these are so good. You won't see me eat on camera probably ever again. What's your favorite Dorito? I like the Cool Ranch the best. Yeah, Cool Ranch is the best. I remember when Cool Ranch was new, I was like, man, this is amazing. Steve's going to kill me talking about Doritos and Cheetos. But they are good. All right. About 20 seconds, we'll be back. All right, we are back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, wow. Hey, good morning. Well, I think the world is really turning upside down today. It's a Monday, and the world is going crazy.
Why? What's happened?
Free promotional spots on the Sleep Kane show for Walmart and Doritos and Cheetos? What the heck is going on?
Come on. Why do you think I'm talking about it?
I mean, are you calling the 800 number on the back of the Cheetos bag trying to get some money out of them?
Oh, you think? You think I only talk about things I get paid to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything I say, like, am I being paid to talk to you? Specifically?
Yeah.
Why would I be paid just to talk to you? Well, everything I do on the air I get paid for. But what you're well, yeah, do you work for free? Do you have a job?
Yes.
Do you do it for free or do you get paid for your job?
Well, no, when I'm billable hours, I work for money, but when I talk to people on the phone, I'm sitting there doing my other stuff on a speakerphone.
Well, wait a minute. So what are you, an attorney? Are you an attorney? Are you an attorney? You said billable hours. Are you an attorney?
No, I don't charge people. No. I make my money with billable hours doing service work. I don't.
Well, an attorney can get paid for phone calls. I just had, an attorney can get paid for phone calls, and they do often.
Well, I've got 45 years of experience in my field, and I'm licensed in 3 different aspects of. That's why I'm going to leave it right there. I'm licensed in 3 different aspects of the service industry.
Yeah.
And when I flap my mouth and when I'm flapping my gums around, I'm not charging people to talk to people. There's a certain human interaction.
So you think that's what I do? I just flap my gums and I get paid for it.
No, my real gripe is the show. You really destroyed the show with the sellout to the big company over there, the censoring company. We used to have I used to listen to it daily. And, you used to have such spontaneous and, when you got the liberal retards and all that, you could keep them on and embarrass them till they're full exhaustion,
Well, what do you mean censor? You're on the air. You're on the air.
Well, you got your 50s. No, I'm just like, come on, try to get back to the roots of the show, with the boxing gloves and Steve Kane waking up at least have Steve Kane waking up at 6 a.m. if you can do that anymore.
Yeah. Wow.
If you're going to continue
you said, excuse me, Steve will be joining us after the next break, by the way. I want you to listen to what you're saying here. You're accusing us of censoring. I've kept you on. You've been on the air for a few minutes. You've insulted me. You've insulted Steve. You've insulted the show. You've called us hacks and everything else. And I'm allowing you to continue. So I don't know where's the censoring.
So there's election fraud news in every day. Do you know Wendy Bell?
Yeah, I've been on her show a bunch of times.
Yeah. I don't know which way you're transitioning, but she's got the bigger organs that are usually bulging between someone's pelvic area. She's got bigger organs down there. Well,
this is the issue.
She's covering.
We all cover. Excuse me.
2020 election fraud every day.
Well, I don't know what she's doing every day, but I know this. Okay, we all have our issues that we talk about, that we gravitate to and have an interest, like the Doritos and the Cheetos. Why do you think I'm talking about Doritos and Cheetos? Hold on, let me answer these other lines here, and then I'll get to it. And I want to get to this. Mr. Says, why do you think I've been talking about the Bobby Kennedy Doritos and Cheetos?
Joe Biden and the Democrats took over the United States.
No, excuse me. No. Why do you think? All right, I just see he doesn't want to talk. Probably want a cracker. I'll tell you guys. There are people in this audience that are liberally impaired. Okay, so let me explain to you why I was talking about the Cheetos and the Doritos. Not just because I love them and they taste good. Bobby Kennedy came in as the Secretary of Health and Human Services with his assistant, Dr. Oz, in President Trump's second term with an agenda, right? Make America healthy again. The MAHA agenda, they call it. It sounds Hawaiian. And here we are, less than a year since they've been in place, and already that policy is on the shelves to buy. When have you seen government work so fast like this. Bobby Kennedy said, I've got this. We're going to do this. We're going to outlaw the dyes, and we're going to make America healthy again. And already you can go to Walmart and buy the product. When have you seen the government work that fast before on anything? See, one of the things that Trump has done is change the expectation of the American people, right? And that expectation is we expect results. All right, let me take another call or two. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Brian. I hope Steve's feeling okay. Hey, boys, it's about time Bobby Kennedy did something because, these foods that they're looking to outlaw, they've been banned out over in England for a while. You got fish, Mountain Dew, all that stuff, and we just get yellow dye number 5 off the shelf. I mean, that's really not that much, but it's something.
I don't know. Bobby Kennedy thinks it's a lot.
Well, Mountain Dew, Swedish Fish, all that other stuff, that stuff needs to go away.
Yeah. I'll settle for the fentanyl and cocaine that's no longer coming here thanks to Trump blowing up the boats.
That's pretty funny, interesting, too. Why would Donald Trump go ahead and pardon a cocaine dealer as big as that one gentleman and then start...
Who? He pardoned a cocaine dealer? I missed this. Who's the cocaine dealer he pardoned?
What's that guy from, Bart?
You're the one who takes issue with the pardon. You must know who you're talking about.
Barcelona, I forget what it is, but I know he's a.
Well, if you don't know who he is, how do you know the pardon was a bad pardon?
Well, Brian, he's pardoned so many people. It's hard to keep track of all of them.
All right, this might be something easy. Give me an example of someone any president has pardoned who's been an innocent person.
Repeat that one more time.
Give me an example of someone who's received a presidential pardon who was not guilty. Any president.
I don't understand that one.
Yeah. For people to get pardoned, they have to have done a crime.
Yeah,
all presidential pardons, all presidential pardons, no matter what president has signed them, have pardoned criminals for their criminal activity.
Okay. And you think that a narco drug trafficker is okay?
You're talking about the former president of Honduras who was not a trafficker, but he was bribed by the traffickers.
You know who I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, of course I know. But you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
He pardoned him. I talked about this last week to more than one caller. I'm sure you heard. But I'll tell you again, because you're pretending to be uninformed and stupid on this. But I've talked about this a lot in the last couple of weeks. We're at war against the drug cartels right now. In fact, there's a large military buildup of Marines in the Caribbean for a planned land operation that the president has talked about. We've been blowing the boats up out of the water. This guy from Honduras, is a source of intelligence information on the war against the drug cartels. He knows how they work. He knows how they do their banking. He knows who they are. And he probably knows where a lot of their cocaine factories and such are because he's been there.
Yeah, because he's a drug dealer. So
he's not a drug dealer. He's an informant now. In exchange for the pardon, he's giving us intelligence information to win the war on drugs, to save the lives of Americans.
Okay.
Tens of thousands of Americans die every year because of the cartels.
Well, actually, tens of thousands of Americans are dying because they have a thing called addiction, and what
it's hard to be addicted to something that's not in the country anymore. Do you want to call him a rat? You want to call him a rat now? He's an informant.
No, I'm not going to call him a rat. I'm going to call him an individual who should have never been allowed out of jail. Hold on one second. You're telling me that all people should get a pardon who just give a little bit of information.
It's not a little war. There's a war going on right now, a major military action. The largest naval movement in the right now, there's a major military action going on. And excuse me, and he is giving us information that we're using to target the cartels. Yeah, it's a good deal. All right, take care. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are you risking your retirement? You don't have to. Call Joe Thomas. Annuities are amazing. Listen, there's all kinds of different investments out there. I get 401ks. IRAs, bank accounts, money markets, CDs, all kinds of things. But only annuities guarantee you an income stream for the rest of your life. When you call Joe Thomas, by the way, you can call him no matter where you're located, to schedule your no-charge consultation, which you can do in person at his office, over the phone, through Zoom. He'll put together a custom proposal for you based on your situation and your goals. But ask him about the signing bonus with annuities. There's some bonuses where you can earn 10%, sometimes even more on your money before you leave Joe Thomas's office. It's amazing. Give him a call, and you're guaranteed an income stream for the rest of your life. Call Jupiter Joe Thomas and set up your no-charge consultation. His number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com. All right, the 8 o'clock hour is upon us. Steve Kane will be joining us after the top of the hour break. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after our top of the hour break. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, here you go. After the break. Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hey, let me put you on hold for a minute.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Unbelievable. All right, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, we're still in break. Don't say what it is, because everybody can hear you. But remember we were having a problem with somebody and you said it was someone we knew?
Yes.
I found out who it was. I'll tell you after the show.
Really?
Don't say anything now. Yeah. Steve and
Don't
I...
worry, let it.
I can't tell you guys. I can't tell you. I'll call you after the show. I have to explain it to you. I can't put it in a text.
I gotcha.
Yeah. One of our stalkers. Steve and I have one of our stalkers. They screwed up. They couldn't control themselves.
That's how it is with stalkers.
Well, I knew we'd smoke them out. Smoke them out. Did you have anywhere you wanted to go?
No, I just, I'm concerned about the country.
No. Okay. A little vague. All right, we got about a minute and a half. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy, oh, boy. The liberals are losing their minds in the audience.
Yeah, but under the circumstances, they're doing better than they should be doing.
Nah. We got about 1 minute.
1 more minute?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Have you been listening?
I have been listening for the last hour.
Oh, okay. Nope. It's amazing.
The whole thing is amazing.
Which issue?
The whole setup. I mean, the fact that
We got 10 seconds.
We're in such euphoria
that things are precarious.
All right, hold on. We're coming back. Wait. The 8 o'clock hour has begun. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
Brian, how are you this morning?
All right, now I don't know. You and I did not talk over the weekend.
No.
But I wanted to tell people, you haven't been on too much lately, and you've been having a health issue with someone in your family, not you, not your immediate family, but I wanted to let everybody know why you haven't been here so much lately.
We have a bunch of health issues in my family.
Well, is that one particular one doing okay or not?
Well, depending on which one you're talking about.
The one with one of your ex-wives.
She unfortunately passed on over the weekend.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. So
me too.
So Steve's second ex-wife, which is your final ex-wife, because the one after that's your current wife. Steve's second ex-wife was in ICU. She passed over the weekend, and you have, I don't know, 3 children with your second ex-wife?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
The kids must be taking it hard. The
kids are taking it very hard. I'm taking it hard. I mean, I don't know why, but I don't know. The whole thing with that is I have issues.
Well, her husband had passed away recently.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Are your kids
within the last 6 months?
Were your kids close to the stepfather?
Close enough to feel it hard.
Oh,
the whole family's been grieving.
What a mess.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, this is what life's about.
Well, you
Life
know.
Yeah.
But when you have kids together, even though you've been divorced for like 40 years or so. Right? It had to be that long. How long you been married?
How long have I been married to Lori? Lori, how long have we been married?
I've been married 29 years, so you've been married 35 or 40.
Married in 1980. I think 40.
40, yeah, going on 40. So,
I do believe.
So when you have kids together.
I do believe it, too.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's been very morbid over the weekend.
Well, when
I'm going to try to throw it off. And then, of course, after the weekend, I turn on the news. And I'm starting not to like what I see, I can tell you that.
Well, the one guy who was complaining you weren't here last week, I just wanted him to feel great about why you weren't here last week. Okay, that's why I brought that up. But I don't know why you're feeling bad about the news, because things are going perfect with President Trump.
I don't know. I like to be optimistic, and as long as Trump's involved in the picture, I am optimistic. But it's dawning on me that if we were one of this congressional election away from this, whole thing could go away very fast. Very fast. We lose control of the legislative bodies, the House and the Senate, and we're in big trouble.
There's only one way we can lose.
What's that?
By not having a big turnout. We have got to have a turnout
but in an off-year election, that's a probability.
Well, it's up to us to make sure that doesn't happen. I don't mean just me and you, but I mean our whole movement. We need to have a turnout like it's a presidential election year.
If I knew we were going to have that kind of mass turnout, I wouldn't be so worried.
That's what's got to do it, Well, I'll tell you, there's a couple of things that are going on right now that are going to be big as we approach the election, okay? Because after the first of the year is when midterm election season happens. And we got 2 rounds of it, right? You got the primaries and then the general.
Right.
This $8 billion theft by the Democrats in Minnesota is going to really heat up after the first of the year. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, is the one doing the investigating on this. And he doesn't play. He's uncovered everything that's come out. Yeah. So that's big. And Ilhan Omar is in so much trouble, Steve. She introduced the legislation in Congress for the program that they stole the $8 billion from.
Well, look, I mean, there's plenty of things to point to give one hope. But the bottom line is the situation is precarious. If we lose this vote, the congressional off-year vote, it all goes away.
Well, and then, that's true. And then we found out over the weekend that Ilhan Omar, her net worth, this poor girl who came here with nothing from Somalia, Her net worth's $30 million now. And they have photographs of her hanging out with all the fraudsters. So she's up to her eyeballs in that. And that race is going to, Tim, it's an election year for Tim Walz, who's running for re-election as governor. Mike Lindell is running for governor of Minnesota against him. So he's going to be on TV all year talking about this. It's going to be huge. Then there's two big things that happen towards the end of the summer that are going to be very good for us in the midterms.
What's that?
Well, one, those Trump accounts for the kids, right?
That's a great idea. Great idea.
That's.
I mean, Trump's not the problem. Everything Trump's connected with is a winner. But I'm wondering how long he can withstand.
Well, these are things that are going to generate a turnout for us, right? So
that's what we hope.
All the kids in America are going to get those Trump accounts on July 5th. They're going to be operational. And then over the summer, we don't have a date yet. It's going to be over the summer sometime. But, President Trump's timing these things for the elections. All Americans are going to get the $2,000 from the tariff profit sharing.
Everything that Trump is involved in, I don't worry about, because I know he's on top of it. But there's a limit to what one man can do.
But when every American gets $2,000 from him, $4,000 for married couples, he's going to be pretty popular as we're approaching the election.
Well, I hope so, because if not, the country's in big trouble.
Yeah. I know. It's a crapshoot. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. If we have a high turnout, we'll win. If we have a low turnout, we'll lose. Yeah. It's all about the turnout.
But that's a highly question. It's not a certain issue, the turnout. That's the problem. Look, it's just going around in circles. I like your attitude better, but I just don't share it, because when I see what they've gotten away with up to this point, or what's been uncovered up to this point, it frightens the hell out of me.
I'll tell. Well, first off, I was talking earlier. Ilhan Omar went on the Sunday shows. She looks like hell. She's gained a lot of weight in the last week. She's lost her condescending tone. She looks terrified.
Well, she's got a face she's putting on.
Oh, she's not doing. She's very worried about being deported. Senator Kelly with the sedition, he's been freaking out over the weekend. He was speaking at a group over the weekend. He's wearing more military patches and paramilitary gear. I mean, he looks like Greg Kinnear and Mystery Men. Remember they had the thing with all the things on it? If you guys remember, Steve gets that joke. Nobody else gets that joke. But he's speaking to a group, and he's got a Navy hat on, and he's got a jacket on it that has more military patches on it than Tom Cruise's bomber jacket and Top Gun. And you could tell he's very worried. He knows he's screwed up. Whether or not anything's going to happen, he knows he's screwed up. This war on drugs, okay? I'm going to tell you something about that. This war on drugs is about to heat up big time. I was reading over the weekend. There's a massive buildup of Marines at U.S. installations in the Caribbean that are prepping for land operations against the cartels, on top of the big drug boat attacks we're doing. We are at war against drugs literally now. So President Trump's giving every American $2,000, giving the kids the Trump accounts, and he's ridding this country of drugs. I mean, how's that not going to excite people to turn out and keep him in power?
Believe it when I see it.
Well, you've been dealing with a lot of personal issues that are bringing you down.
That's true. It doesn't help.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't help.
Exactly. I got some good news. Last week when you weren't here, we brought in, we welcomed a new sponsor to the program.
I understand.
Our new accountant, Jamie Levac of Swift Tax. And the response from our audience has been tremendous, from what I understand over the weekend, that have called him up. We have not had an accountant on this program in a long, long time, and it's not a coincidence that we have an accountant on right now, because when Jamie Levac from Swift Tax he was a guest on the show on Thursday, and he'll be calling in this week as well. the entire tax code has changed because of the big, beautiful bill. And no matter who you are, you need to call Jamie Levac. You need an accountant. And he can do your taxes no matter what state you're in, no matter which one of the 50 states you're in. But I just wanted to talk a moment, Steve, to people that are senior citizens receiving Social Security benefits. If you're receiving Social Security benefits, there's huge new tax benefits for you from the big, beautiful bill. You want to call Jamie Levac. If you receive Social Security and you work, there's also humongous new tax benefits. You want to call Jamie Levac of Swift Tax, okay? And just everything has changed. If you are an Uber or Lyft driver or someone that works in the gig economy like that, you want to call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax, okay? He can help you big time. Those of you that are in the tip economy, right? No matter how many tips you get, remember, no tax on tips. Call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He's going to make sure that you don't pay 10 cents of taxes on those tips. I mean, this is really, this is a time, Steve, everybody should always have an accountant. But if you've never had an accountant, this is the first, you want to get one now for sure. If you try to do your taxes on your own or use all that TurboTax or H&R Block, you're paying money you don't need to pay. Call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. You're going to save big, big time. If you have an accountant in the past and you think that they're not doing right by you and you're paying too much money in taxes, call Jamie Levac of Swift Tax. Okay? And he's located in Broward County, but again, he can help you no matter where you are in the United States. He comes incredibly highly recommended. He's really amazing. I know a lot about taxes. I've had some really deep conversations with him, and he's going to talk to you one-on-one. It's basically a concierge service without the concierge prices for an accountant. Give him a call. This is his number, Jamie Levac at Swift Tax, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. Remember, he'll help you, and make sure you tell him that I sent you. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. I had a couple things I can bring up to you, unless you had somewhere you wanted to go.
Go ahead. No, you take the lead. I'm having an allergic attack here.
Okay, let me put you on hold for a minute. Hold on. All right. Okay. Are you there, Steve?
I'm here.
Okay. We got about 90 seconds.
Okay.
goodness. All right. 1 minute.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, stand by. We got 10 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. It is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Okay, I got another, it's kind of like a poll that shows we're going to be doing very well in the midterms. All right?
Oh, I'm game.
This is not a traditional poll, but news reports, the new TV season is being announced out of Hollywood. And this is what they're reporting out of Hollywood. Listen to this. Half of the LGBTQ plus transgender TV characters will disappear on the new television season next year. Either they're being written out of shows, and the new shows don't have any of them in there, right? So that means Hollywood is adjusting the TV schedule for America. If
it's a good first step.
It's a good little kind of a poll showing where Hollywood thinks that Hollywood is thinking the country is conservative, or they wouldn't do that, right? It
seems to fall into place. I agree.
Everything's going well.
All right, just the stakes are so humongous, but I'll let you calm me down. I don't have a vested interest in being depressed all day, so.
Well, I'm not your therapist, but I mean, the news is before you joined, I played this clip of Tom Homan. He was on Fox over the weekend, and he had just looked at the numbers. The Trump administration has rescued 62,000 as of the weekend, missing children, many of which Tom Homan said were being used in forced labor, which is slavery, and sex trafficking. 62,000 children that were being sex trafficked, forced into labor, or just missing, found. I mean, there's not a single news story involving Trump or the Trump administration that's not positive. I mean, the biggest thing they have now, the Democrats are trying to take a position that the rights of the drug cartels are being violated by blowing up the boats.
Well, they've been a bit with villains all along. It's never been this bad before, but it's not new. And they seem to keep surviving with these villains as their spokespeople.
Well, the cartels are President Trump said at the end of the week, Thursday or Friday, that 90%, he said that 90% of the illegal drugs being brought into the country by sea have been stopped now. 90%. So 10%, I don't know where that 10%'s at, where they get that, but that's a huge drop. Between that and I got a call the other day from a listener from California who works in the healthcare industry, and they do drug testing. And she said positive drug results for fentanyl have dropped tremendously. They would see positive fentanyl test all the time. No more. Right? It's because of Trump. I mean, all these stories are huge. And then, we were talking about Jamie from Swift Tax earlier. The Democrats have created this 100% false flag with an L narrative the affordability crisis. That's all they talk about, the affordability crisis. And then they start telling about health care. The big, beautiful bill doesn't kick in until January. So the financial benefits of the big, beautiful bill, people are going to, by February and March, people are going to start to see them all over the country because it kicks in January. And President Trump has timed everything so that all of this great news will become, it'll be coming out throughout the year. But what President Trump knows how to do more than anything else is media manipulation, right? Marketing of whatever he's doing.
Yeah. He's a master, there's no question.
Yeah. So the way that you do it is in beats. You don't have everything come out at once. You have things come out in beats so they don't overlap. You don't want to have too many things up in the air so it's lost. They come out. That's why the Trump bucks and the Trump accounts are coming out at the end of the summer, because we're going to be in the midterm election season. So he wants to put $2,000 in everybody's hand and give their kid that investment account. All these things. So there's a whole year. At some point next year, one of the things we've not heard one word about from President Trump that I know of in the second term is the wall. I expect him to go to the wall and it be finished. The southern border wall, the Great Wall of Trump, all these things. He's timing everything for next year. So it's the year of good, positive news as we go into the midterm elections. So I have no worries. It just all depends on turnout. So not only do we have to have
there's nothing to worry about except what's the most important thing you got to worry about, which is turnout.
Well, you do that by letting people know how important it is.
Well, I agree that we have to do that, and we'll continue to do that. But the underlying issue is not Trump. The underlying issue are the American people. What are we made of? And the very fact that they've been as successful as they have in creating the havoc they have throughout the country, it scares me. Quite frankly, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not sure anybody but Trump can do it.
Yeah. I want to talk about Coastal weight loss secret, guys. Okay, now you guys know I've been eating my Doritos, my Bobby Kennedy Doritos and Cheetos, but don't worry, I'm not going to gain any weight. It's holiday season. This is that time of year. I met Dr. Zuckerman over at Coastal Weight Loss Secret in January. Okay. And I have never been on any type of weight loss program at all, other than I'll tell myself, okay, I'm not going to eat something over the, I'm going to cut that out for a couple weeks. And I wasn't sure I could do it. And I said, you know what? I need to make sure I can do this. And recommend it to others. I was on the program for 2 weeks before I announced it on the air. And my weight loss was so dramatic. I couldn't wait to tell you guys about it. And I wish I would have started on day one. Coastal Weight Loss Secret is so easy because you're not starving yourself. You can eat foods you normally eat. You don't have to exercise, and there's no pills and there's no injections. If you've seen this new thing going on with Michelle Obama, that modeling shoot she did with the Glam Squad, what's everyone saying? Oh, look at Michelle. She's on Ozempic. She looks sick. These people that are on Ozempic and these other things, they don't look good. With Coastal Weight Loss Secret, you lose the weight naturally and you look good like I do. You look natural. You don't want people going around saying you've got the Ozempic face. That's not healthy. That's Karen Carpenter. You want to look good. You want to lose weight and not have people tell you, oh, you've had that pill. What people tell me more than anything, other than that I've lost weight, is that I look younger. I get that a lot. You look younger. Yeah, it has taken years off. And I tried on a pair of pants over the weekend from the 90s, and they fit perfectly. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. They can help you no matter where you're located in the United States. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve.
Okay.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you they're making it through the year. They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow, the 5-pack, for just $29.98. Get the My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25. And a blowout sale on the standard MyPillows for just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879 and use the promo code KANE to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now just $14.98. Queens, $18.99. Kings, only $1 more. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but MyPillow has just announced they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, or call 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE for huge savings on your Christmas shopping. We're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Hank from Hollywood. How you doing?
All right, Hank. What's on your mind?
I called Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. He sent out Scott. Now, Scott is absolutely the best. Scott and Scott's crew are the absolute best. They gave me a great price. They did the job when they said they were going to do it. They finished the job when they said they were going to do it. The materials they used, absolutely the best. I want to thank Tom. I definitely want to thank Scott, and definitely want to thank Scott's crew. These people are number one, and I just want your listeners to know, Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. If you need a new roof, call Tom at Tom Laporta Roofing. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to be disappointed.
Do what Hank did. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com. Okay. Steve, you there?
Yes.
No, you got less than 30 seconds, so hold on.
This is where we compound.
I know, I'm here, honey.
You're there. I got you.
Okay.
You got 11% off your first order of travel.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
We're back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1970. See, these things that President Trump is doing, the way I keep describing them is the things that he's doing are universally good things. And the Democrats at the beginning of this, they're opposing all of it. And the Democrats at the beginning of the term, there was this thing, these are 80-20 issues. And they're always taking the 20. These are 99.99% issues, okay? And they're taking the 0.01%. Like, as an example, I was just looking on X during the break. This theft in Minnesota that Tim Walz is all involved in, Ilhan Omar, that weirdo mayor from Minneapolis, it was $1 billion when it first broke. Now it's being reported by Fox News that it's $8 billion with a B dollars. $8 billion with a B dollars. Right? This is the largest political financial scandal in the history of the United States. So look at how the Democrats run with it. Ilhan Omar, she goes on TV over the weekend, Face the Nation, and she says the program was being run by a white woman. Oh, okay, that makes okay. And then they staged a series of what's the opposite of a protest? I don't know. Events of support for the thieving Somalians. And the Democrats of Minnesota went to Somali restaurants to show their support for the Somalian community and their thievery. You know, when you look at these issues and whatever position the Democrats take, it's the wrong side. You know, how can they hope to win the midterms? I don't see how it's possible, Steve.
Yeah, I can tell you how it's possible. You're not counting on the stupidity factor of the American people. These issues are 80-20 issues. They should play out in the polls in the area of 80-20, and all the polls are neck and neck.
Yeah.
This is an off-year election.
Oh, well,
and,
yeah.
And that is vital. And I have faith in Donald Trump, but I don't have faith necessarily in all the voters.
Well, let me answer these lines that are coming in. I have, did you see what Mamdani did today, Steve?
No.
He released this is like his first official. He's not mayor yet. He's mayor-elect, but this is like his first official thing he released as mayor-elect. He released a video explaining to illegals how they can avoid arrest by ICE. Okay? And the video that he released, he did it in English, which means he did it for the American-speaking English audience, not the illegals that don't speak the English. By this time next year, New York is going to be a disaster. And that's going to be a national story, and people are going to be fed up. Let Mamdani be Mamdani. That's what we got to do. And this is the first indicator that it's going to be a disaster. Do you want to take some calls?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Oh, hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Hi, Steve. How are you? Now, Brian, that poll you just read coming out of Hollywood, that's tremendous news. Now, is the legacy media starting to blink now? Because that affects the support for cultural issues, the support for the Democratic Party, all these nutty ideas they come out with. It looks like they just blinked and they're starting maybe to go into a cocoon or starting to fade.
If they're going to have only half of the LGBTQ plus transgender binary whatever characters, that means the country is MAGA, even in their minds.
Yes. Yes. That's a huge confirmation. I'm actually a little surprised that that information got out.
It wasn't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to.
They're losing.
It wasn't supposed to.
Okay.
It's something
I'll tell you why it got out, because the press, which is usually 100% behind the Democrat, in this particular race, the Hollywood people had their community burned down by this moron who's the governor of California, and he's lost. Newsom has lost a big hit of support from that community because of the way he handled the fires. And that's starting to show up in the poll.
Absolutely. Well, one house, a specific house, say this is ridiculous. But now they're like admitting that they're backtracking. This wall the legacy media had up protecting the Democratic Party, the policies, the culture, how they affected. It looks like that's
like look at this thing with the drug boats, okay? Lara Logan, she posted something online this morning I saw. And, she's from South Africa. She, remember how she was sexually assaulted by the Muslims in Egypt during the Muslim Spring? Okay.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think it was in Egypt,
Egypt, yes. Egypt, yep.
Yeah.
And she was talking about the drug boats, and she pointed something out that I hadn't heard anyone mention yet. And this is going to be the next. She said, what's missing from these boats is a flag. Not one of them have a flag on it.
No.
That's illegal.
No.
You never see boats that are unflagged unless they're pirates. Based on that alone, so it shows deception. It's not one; it's all of them. The drug boat story is going to backfire on them like no one's business.
But are they now losing their ability to spin the narrative, Brian?
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting. They can't spin the narrative anymore. People are going to see this for exactly what it is, and this has political ramifications. And now there's two things where they've gotten narratives out. Okay, this is what we got to be careful. One, I was talking about this in the back. Mamdani won because the media convinced people he was unbeatable. So they had about 16% voter turnout of registered voters on election day. Between that and Curtis Sliwa, so the media convinced people he was unbeatable, so they suppressed the turnout. That's one. The thing that they got going on now that's I think has worked because people are talking about it and they shouldn't. This is a false. The affordability crisis. J.D. Vance said the other day at I think it was the cabinet meeting. He said he says that's a made up crisis that doesn't exist. But I see Republicans all over television responding to the affordability crisis. It's a totally fictitious thing. There's no affordability crisis, but they've convinced people there is. Well, because they have nothing else to talk about. They have nothing else to talk about. They don't manufacture some phony thing. What are they going to do? Go on the Sunday shows and say what?
But here's the thing:
they
go on television and say a lot of things. But what I'm telling you is, we can't underestimate the fake news media, because they they gave us Mamdani, and this affordability crisis false narrative is sticking. People believe it.
Yeah.
And they keep tying it to health insurance. Because of the debate over the Obamacare, premiums are expected to go up. So they're obstructing that. They're going to make the healthcare premiums go up, and they're like, look at the affordability crisis. Look at healthcare premiums. So so you can't a lot of times people think, oh well, the legacy media, they have no influence. They have a lot more influence than you realize.
Oh, a huge amount of influence. Absolutely. Would the Democratic Party be where they are without the legacy media supporting them?
Exactly.
That's it. And now it looks like we're seeing a crack in that support and their ability to get their message out and to lie about our message.
So I mean,
this is fantastic numbers.
And what they've done. Somebody from the Trump administration over the weekend, I can't remember who. It was somebody on one of the Sunday shows, but I can't remember which one. Okay. It might have been Bess. I don't think it was Bess. But anyway. One of them said, they were talking about this fake affordability crisis, and they said, Biden drives up the prices, we're bringing the prices down, but they're blaming us for what Biden did, and they call it the affordability crisis. And and we got to be honest, that one is sticking. People believe it, even a lot. And what MAGA people are doing that's a mistake is responding to it. Whenever you're responding, you're losing.
And they're also creating the image that it actually is a real problem that's been manufactured. We have to deal with this, and what are we going to do?
Well, I don't know what that even means. Affordability crisis. I don't even know what that means. So far as whatever, the prices always go up over time. But we were talking about the big beautiful bill tax cuts. We were talking about our accountant from Swift Tax, Jamie Leva. Whatever has not gone down with the groceries, you're going to get that back between the tax cuts and the $2,000 each next year from the tariffs.
Yes. Yeah. The tariff income is now almost $21 trillion. This is people got to be a little bit of pay when this is starting to hit, and now the tariff dividend checks are coming back.
And that
it's going to have a huge impact.
The tariff that tariff money is going to become a yearly event that we all get.
An annual event.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I thought I heard that mentioned. But their ability to throw issues against the wall and see what sticks because of their legacy media position they have, it looks like that's maybe weakening, maybe coming to an end. And without that, I think they're done. Yeah. I think they're done.
But you cannot underestimate the legacy media, or they wouldn't be able to get these false narratives going like the ones we're talking about.
That's right.
Well, I don't think those phone numbers
What's that, Steve?
I don't think those phone numbers they gave out was a false narrative. I think that's real, that they are having a big trouble with that.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why I was surprised it got out, but that's great. You presented it today. That makes my day. That's great.
All right, take care. Appreciate the call. All right, now I want to. This may be the most important question of the day, Steve. Okay, and this is a very important question. Do you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy? Steve, you had every neuropathy symptom in the medical journals, all of them.
I remember it well.
Yeah. And do you know that it has been 3.5 years since Lighthouse Medical rid you of your neuropathy? 3.5 years.
That's amazing.
This month. Yeah, it was in June, 3.5 years ago. So it's this month, it's 3.5 years. And yeah, it's amazing. And not only did they rid you of neuropathy, all those symptoms 3.5 years ago, 3.5 years later, they have not returned. So Lighthouse Medical has a neuropathy treatment. They have a neuropathy treatment that works and a neuropathy treatment that lasts. And, neuropathy is so god-awful and painful and uncomfortable. You just want immediate relief like today. You're not thinking 3.5 years later, right? I mean, you're being tortured. You want the torture to stop. Mm-hmm. And we weren't thinking long term. We were just thinking, okay, how can we get this over with now? And it's gone. Give Lighthouse Medical a call. And, no matter where you are in the United States, they can help you. If you're local and you can't make it in, they can still help you. They understand if you have neuropathy, it might not be easy for you to come into the office, even if you're in town. So no matter where you're located, They can help you, like they have Steve Kane, rid you of your neuropathy symptoms as well. Here's the number. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back with the Gold Report. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, so I can get William.
Okay.
Hold on.
Good morning.
Hi, it's Brian. I'm going to put you on hold. We got 1 minute, and we'll be with you. Hold
Okay.
on. Steve, you there?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
You got me?
Yeah, hold on. Okay, I'm going to conference William. We have about 30 seconds, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right, William, we have 30 seconds.
Okay.
You with us, William?
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, stand by. All right, we're back. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with our first look at the gold and silver and other precious metals for the week. William Youngerman, how are the metals starting the week off?
Metals starting off very strong. The gold stabilizing nicely above 4,200 today, and last week we saw gold trade in the range of $4,191 all the way up to $4,260 on Friday, closing out today at $4,197.30, which was actually down $9.90. Silver gained $1.22 on Friday, closing out today at $58.27, while platinum was down $3 at $1,640. Are you there?
Yep, I got you.
Oh. And palladium closed up $14 at $14.42. Overnight, we saw gold trade in the range of $41.95 on the low to $42.20 on the high. And right now we're at $42.02. Wow. That's up $4.30. Silver down 12 cents at $58.12. Platinum up $25 at $1,665. And palladium up $20 at $1,462. So the market's doing very well. Nice, stable, and building some strong bases.
Yeah, as the countdown to Christmas begins, you've got a lot of things over there that make great Christmas gifts. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have, of course, all the different size gold and silver coins and bars and things, but we also have beautiful coin jewelry and all kinds of 14-karat, 18-karat gold jewelry. This is all wholesale, so if you're a Steve Kane listener, you have to just ask to see our jewelry, and because we don't put it on display for the most part.
Yeah.
But you do get our special wholesale prices if you come in and ask for it.
Yeah. Yeah,
go
ahead.
We also have a nice assortment of sterling silver jewelry if you're interested.
Yeah, and the quality of the jewelry will blow your mind. It's beautiful stuff, I'm here to tell you. William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can give him a call toll-free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, and find both his phone number and address on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, take care. All right, so it's all good news, including identifying our harassing stalker, which I'm particularly excited about today. I can't wait to tell you about that. So Steve, it's why do you and I? Why are all of our stalkers men? I just don't understand. Have you had a stalker that's a girl, a woman, a female? All might have been men. They're usually gay. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's not that I want to have a stalker that's female. I just want to know why all the stalkers happen to be men, and mostly gay men. I don't know. I guess everybody deals with that, Steve.
I guess. Hey. I don't want to think about it too hard.
Yeah, I know. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and did you see the medal ceremony with Trump with the Kennedy Center honors?
Yes.
In the Oval Office?
I watched some of it. I watched the night programming from the Kennedy Center.
Well, I think next week or the week after, they're going to have the televised event, which is going to be on CBS. And President Trump is the first president of the United States to host the Kennedy Center honors. So he's going to be out on stage, not some late-night comedian. He's going to be on stage hosting this. They did it last night, and it's recorded, and it airs on the network like next week or the week after. And I know it went well, because if he bombed, even though it hasn't been televised, they would be letting us know. So the insider reports have to be that he did a spectacular job as host. But did you see when he was giving out the medals to Sylvester Stallone and Kiss and Gloria Gaynor in the Oval Office?
I didn't see that part.
Sylvester Stallone and President Trump are the same age. They're 79 years old. And, of course, Sylvester Stallone, I love Sylvester. Everybody loves Sylvester Stallone. How could you not, right? But if you go back to his, top movie times, he was known for being in the most perfect physical condition a man could be in. Right? I mean, like in Rambo with all the pictures with the shirts off and everything else. And when President Trump gave him his medal, and he did not look well, Sylvester Stallone. He's 79. He's the same age as the president. He had a cane, and it was a fancy cane, but he wasn't walking all that well. And when President Trump awarded all the medals, he gave the medals to Michael Crawford, from the Phantom of the Opera, Stallone, Kiss, couple other people, and Gloria Gaynor. And when he started talking, and you had all these old people behind him, I was getting nervous because sometimes when President Trump talks to the press, it can go on for a long time. And I'm thinking, I don't know how long Stallone will be able to stand up there, with the cane, but he didn't go too long. But you put Donald Trump at 79 next to Sylvester Stallone at 79. Donald Trump is like a 50-year-old compared to Stallone. And I'm not knocking Stallone because I love Sylvester Stallone. All right, I mean, what's your favorite Stallone movie? Do you have one?
Well, everybody's favorite movie is Rocky.
Oh, I like Cobra.
Oh no, it wasn't my favorite.
Really? Remember that?
No.
Remember that scene in the grocery store? It's being robbed in the beginning. Oh no, I love Cobra. It's Bridget Nielsen's in Cobra. I love Cobra. Well, anyway, Donald Trump is about 20 or 30 years younger physically than Stallone. And if you would have gone, Rambo 3 and all that stuff was like in the mid 80s. So if you went back in time 40 years to 1985 when Sylvester Stallone was the A-list movie actor, and Donald Trump was famous back then, and you put President Trump back then in 1985 next to Sylvester Stallone with his shirt off with his Rambo chest. Who would have ever thought that in 2025, Donald Trump would be working 20 hours a day, sleeping 3 maybe hours a day, walking around doing these 20-hour days, and Sylvester Stallone would be hobbling in, barely able to stand up. It was I mean, nothing against Stallone, because I love Stallone, but the fact that they're the same age and in such and Donald Trump is in so much better shape than Stallone. It just maybe I'm the only one that noticed that, but I thought it was pretty amazing. But Stallone deserves the medal. Nothing wrong with him getting the medal. I wanted to talk about Wings Plus, Steve, on Sample Road in Coral Springs.
Oh, yes. That reminds me. Football season right around the corner. The playoffs right around the corner.
Yeah. You know, Wings Plus, they've been with us for about 20 years on the Steve Kane Show.
Not an exaggeration. It's actually true.
No, it is. Yeah, around 20 years. Yeah. And I've been eating there longer than that. I mean, the food is spectacular. Nothing comes out of a can. Everything is homemade, including the sauces for the wings. Homemade. Right? And, you know, I don't stray from the wings too much. But have you had any of the burgers over there, Steve? Oh, my goodness.
The burgers are spectacular.
Yeah.
And you can get them quarter pound, half pound, and they're just the greatest burgers this side of New York. And the wings and the wing sauce. What's the one we like? The lemon pepper. Try that lemon pepper. And I'll give you a little clue, because we're in the playoff season. Although the colleges, I think, finished up over this weekend. I think they got a game or two to go. But if you're watching the pros and the playoffs, call in your order at Wings Plus. Brian's going to give you the number, so get a pencil ready. And put in your order for your wings at halftime. And then when halftime comes, you just swing by. They'll be waiting for you. You won't miss any of the game. You won't have to stand on lines. And you're in for the greatest wings you have ever tasted in your life.
Yeah. Now, I the only problem I have is there's 2 wings that are both my favorite: the lemon pepper and the medium hot wings. So usually I get a half order. I get half of the wings lemon pepper and the other half the medium hot. Because I can't choose. They're both so good. And you've been telling me about the lemon pepper for years, and I'm like, I don't know. I love the medium hot. And I had 1 lemon pepper, and then, you know, that was it. They're so good. They're so good. Wings Plus is located in Coral Springs, about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road. You can find them online at wingsplus.com, but their phone number to call and order ahead is 954-752-4460. 954-752-4460. Now, I just want to say one last thing about Wings Plus, if you don't mind, Steve.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Restaurant food in general around everywhere, it's just not like it used to be. So many restaurants have lowered their quality. That is not the case at Wings Plus. Steve, I don't know how they're in the profit zone. Not only is the quality of food spectacular, the wings actually are filled with chicken, not hidden with a bunch of grizzle and breading like other places have. It's a lot of chicken. So anyway, again, the number 954-752-4460, 954-752-4460 for Wings Plus in Coral Springs off of Sample Road. All right, that's about all the time we have for today, but we'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. And if Donald Trump, when they taped the Kennedy Center event, would have tanked, it would have leaked out. It'd be all over the place. And I didn't see any stories in the news about it at all today. So he had to have hit a home run out of the park. Steve, when I say hosting, he's hosting like a comedian hosts the Oscars. He's
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, no president has ever done this. So when we get to see it, it's going to be strange to see a president actually hosting an award show. It's going to be a little weird, but I know he did well, and I can't wait to see it. It's going to be on CBS. So and the Paramount Plus app. And, Sylvester Stallone's new show's on the Paramount Plus app, Tulsa King, which is a really good show. If you haven't seen Tulsa King, Steve, you should see it. Well, listen.
Haven't seen.
Yeah, we're out of time for today. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. And I have noticed the liberals that called in today, they're not doing well. They're not. There's just, I know it's the holiday period. Between all the winning and it's holiday time, they're losing their minds. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. After the first of the year, Steve, we're going to, in August, it'll be 50. We're going to start the 50th in August. That's the anniversary.
All right.
Yeah, 8-9 months. My name's Brian Craig. Steve Kane has been here. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. It's The Steve Kane Show. God bless America, and God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow. All right, Steve, I'll call you in a bit.
You got it.
All right, take care. All right, guys, hey, listen. Thanks for watching. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe, all right? This is where MAGA comes to talk. My name's Brian. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.